in clashes with security forces. The week-long ban had blocked 26 media sites, including WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube, in a bid by the government to tackle misinformation, fraud and hate speech. Dubbed the Gen Z protest due to the participation of young adults and students, thousands gathered in Kathmandu and major cities yesterday to protest the ban and systemic issues like corruption and economic woes. Events turned deadly in Kathmandu when police fired tear gas, rubber bullets, water cannons at protesters attempting to storm the capital's parliament complex. 17 protesters were killed in Kathmandu and 2 more in deadly protests in the city of Itahari in what is being described as some of the worst unrest to hit Nepal in decades. Gold is trading at $3,647.70 an ounce. The rand is at 17.48 to the dollar, 23.70 to the pound, 20.56 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.39 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Makwa North between Boysons Road and the Crown Interchange. There's also queuing traffic in Alexandra on the N3 North approaching Marlborough Drive.
And in sport, Bafana have a big day ahead as they play Nigeria in a FIFA World Cup qualifier today. Mamelodi Sundowns star Lucas Ribeiro Costa announces his departure from the club. And Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus insists they have to continue winning while they keep building for the future.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 12 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 15 and 28. Vereeniging 11 and 28 as well. The top story in EWN this hour, the Madlanga police inquiry is working to declassify sensitive information related to state security in order for it to be presented as evidence during the hearings.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
I didn't plug my earphones. I'm thinking, what's wrong? What's wrong? Gosh.
It's going to take some time.
You know what they say about riding a bike?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. Wherever you are around 702 land, are you in Etwa, in Eersterus, Toekomsrus, Mansfield, Mutlakeng, Roshni, Rayton? It doesn't matter. My name is Bongani Bingwa, and I'm pleased as punch to be with you this morning. Welcome to the show. As always, of course, I'm not alone. I'm with my outstanding colleagues, whom I have missed enormously. Good morning, Amo.
Good morning, Bongani Bingwa.
No, I just meant Amo.
Not me.
Welcome back. Looking fresh, I must say.
Yes.
Well
yes.
rested.
Well, it wasn't just rest. It was also a little bit of work. But I'll get to that in a moment. Muteo, good morning.
KG and I are the ugly ducklings then.
The reason I don't miss Muteo so much is I'm that colleague who floods him with reels and bad jokes that I can't share on air. So it was birthday leave. I was in Italy for a few days. I came back and I'm part of the African Leadership Institute Fellowship. And essentially they're teaching us how to make the world a better place. So I've had a deep dive going through hectic philosophy and readings, some of which I did at varsity, but it's all coming back now. And the idea is somebody thought, oh, we'll take Bongani Bingwa and shape him into a better human being. Have you ever thought?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Great to be back on air. As I say, of course, Amo is here with traffic news, Muteo with business news, and so much more. You've heard both of them. KG starting the clock. We've got producers Zopfiwa and Mapelile taking your calls. Mawande Mateza is in for Cindy Paluta to bring you everything you need to know in the world of sport. And of course, Sfisa Zulu has your latest eyewitness news. Hope you're feeling good. I hope you are rearing to go wherever you are. Let's do this. It's great to be on the show. On our menu today, we often bemoan the fact that in South Africa, we're great on policy, poor on implementation. What are the obstacles that make things that seem no-brainers in the private sector in terms of speed, agility, flexibility? What makes those such significant stumbling blocks when it comes to public sector delivery. There's a really thoughtful piece written by the Department of Water and Sanitation Director General Sean Phillips, who says it's not so easy. In the private sector, you can do anything you like if it's within the law, but in the public sector, you only can do what is in the law. In other words, whatever you do, you must be able to provide legal justification for it. As soon as you bend the rules to try and make things flow a little bit better without legislation backing up your decisions, you are going to get into trouble. He talks about how even trying to get somebody who is not doing their job to do it is a minefield, because you need friends in government. If you just go and report Muteo to his superiors, you are asking for trouble. It's a really, really interesting piece. It was in the Business Day yesterday. He's going to join us to explain it just a little bit before 7 o'clock. And then really a big question, and it will be our shout out. And I'm afraid I'm coming back with not a very fun one this morning, but it's the reality for many of us as South Africans. I'm asking you, because we kind of want to do our own little survey here. What have you been affected by crime recently? In the last year, let's say. In what way? Was it a house robbery? Was it a hijacking? Are you one of those who sits with a very clear and vivid memory of cold steel at your temples? You know what that feels like. Have you heard gunshots in your own home? Was it a car hijacking? Was it sexual violence, maybe even by somebody you even know? What has your experience of crime been in the last year or so? We're going to be speaking to the CEO of 91, Hendrik de Tooy, who says it's time for South Africans to stand up against the scourge of crime. So as an example, we have a 12.4% murder detection rate. 12.4% murder detection rate. That means 88.6% of all murders in this country are not being solved at the moment. Let that sink in. If you murder somebody, chances are you'll get away with it at the moment. That murder detection rate is down, I think, by 31% or something crazy like that from a decade or so ago. That is how inefficient our police have become. So he says it's time for us to do something about it as ordinary folk. Well, what exactly is that? He'll tell us as our big interview just after 7.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
We're taking your calls on 011 883 0702. We'll take your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702. Of course, you'll remember a little earlier in this year when South Africa's delegation to the Oval Office to the White House to explain what was going on. What picture did our leaders give the international community, broadcasting it for the world to see? Remember this moment by Zungiswa Losi, who is the president of COSATU, the Congress of South African Trade Unions, at the White House, explaining just how rampant crime is in this country?
There's no doubt about it that we are a violent nation, for a number of reasons, and we're not condoning anything. But also, if you go into the rural areas where black majority are, you would see women, elderly, being killed, being murdered, and these are black elderly women that would be found throat slits multiple times and all of that. And the problem in South Africa, it is not necessarily about race, but it is about crime. And we think that we are here to say, how do we, both nations, work together to reset, to really talk about investment, but also help us in how we can have the technology and everything that is needed.
All right, that's what Zungiswa Losi had to say at the White House. Are you familiar with the story and the picture that she paints? Have you had an experience with crime in the last year or so?
I mean, not in the last year or so, but I mean, it remains very vivid to me because I lost during that process, our house was broken into and my ID was stolen, right? And to this day, I have to explain if I want to apply for, say, a loan, or, I have to do formal things which needs my ID. I have to explain that, no, my ID was stolen. The person who stole my ID tried to open a loan at this bank, and that's why this is this. So it sort of like lives with me years on. And this was in 2014.
You've since, of course, got a new ID.
Of course.
Yeah. Mateo?
I think I've been very lucky in the past year, but we live in South Africa. You know of people that have gone through crime, being robbed, or somebody nicking their phone at a concert, or it comes from petty crimes to very, very major crimes. The gunshots when you're back home still ring through. I mean, this is South Africa, and you live saying to yourself, if you haven't gone through that experience in at least a year, as you say, you count yourself very, very lucky.
Yeah. I was in Italy recently, and I mean, up to midnight, people are walking on the streets freely. I was warned about pickpockets. But that's about the worst. Somebody said I might encounter. Of course, I didn't. But the idea of just walking on your own at night, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, safely, is the most normal thing in the world. In this country, I'm afraid it isn't so.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
It's a quarter after 6. Mateo, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know from you and 702 Landers this morning, would you feel safer in an e-hailing service car if the app had a panic button?
Yes.
That alerted your family or either other private security to know where you are.
I want it to be linked to those, those Vuma cams all around the city?
Yeah.
I want that panic button. I want the car to be tracked in real time. And private security has to be aware of it.
And as a man in South Africa, have you felt unsafe?
In an e-hailing?
Yeah.
No.
It's also something I've never thought about. But if you think about, just like you were talking about now, the crime in South Africa, as a woman, I could imagine that panic button will work loads.
Listen, as a father to a teenage daughter, that panic button is something I would absolutely welcome.
Tell you why I'm asking.
Coming up.
702.
Weather.
All right, let's see what conditions we can expect on this Tuesday morning. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng. We're in fact expecting isolated showers and thunder showers a little later on. Johannesburg temperature starting at 12 degrees, peaking at 27. Your high in Pretoria is 28, Vereeniging 11 and 28. Mbombela maxes at 27, Bloemfontein 29, Durban also showers, isolated showers and thunder showers maxing at 25 degrees, East London 25 as well, Gqeberha 24. Cape Town, a high of 22 degrees, and it will be partly cloudy.
EWN Traffic.
17 after 6, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the M1 North between Xavier Street and the Car Street exit. This is due to peak time delays. While traveling in Alexandra on the N3 North, we've got a car stuck on the road. It's right near Marlborough Drive. It's causing delays coming out of Linksfield Road, so please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive, heading towards the Fourways area. We'll have more updates for you, but if you come across anything else, we are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a businesswoman on the way to the airport after sleeping through her alarm. Bags in the back, boarding pass on the dashboard. She prays she'll make her flight.
Hope I make it.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's the potential closing of a big deal. Every story's different, and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
I am Alula Madlamini, an avid Talk Radio 702 listener. Have been listening since way back when it was medium wave all the way till now. Talk Radio 702 is, it forms part of the network of what my life is made up of, from God to my family to my joy. 702 is my magazine of life. The depth and width of knowledge, from fun to spiritual knowledge and fulfillment, So I find everything on 702, so much that it is the only radio station that I listen to from Monday to Sunday. I am totally sold out on Talk Radio 702.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
So we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Sandton Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
Imagine having the chance to ensure a blood cancer patient's journey is made that much easier. This positive impact can be someone's reality once you make a financial contribution to help make the process of recruiting potential stem cell donors easier. Give hope this Sunflower Month by making a monetary donation at www.dkms-africa.org. Your contribution will give hope to patients who are awaiting their life-saving transplant.
Local entrepreneurs don't just deserve your business, they deserve your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
Listen, every business begins with heart, right? But it thrives with support from the community. And, well, one of the businesses we've been backing through Entrepreneurial Dreamers as 702 Land and Yoko. Over the past few weeks, we've been looking for businesses, asking you to nominate and vote for your favorite local businesses. And boy, oh boy, did you show up. And now, the spotlight is shifting to the winners, Gauteng's greatest. Today, we're talking to Grumpy's Cafe. And I've been speaking to the owner, Dylan Thomas Curtin, who is the owner of Grumpy's Cafe. And Dylan, I've been to Grumpy's. As we were talking off air, getting to know each other a little bit, I realized I've been to Grumpy's. Where is Grumpy's for those that may not know?
Morning, Bongani. Morning to all the listeners. Grumpy's is in Edenvale. We're just across from Greenstone. How can I say? It's right on the intersection between Van Riebeeck and Modderfontein.
Yeah, it's called, I think, Eden Meadows, isn't it?
Eden Meadows, that's right.
The shopping centre.
That's correct. That's the right shopping centre.
It's where the Woolies used to be.
Where the Woolies used to be.
Where the Woolies used to be.
That's right.
It's a cute little centre.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly a great little coffee shop.
That's
well,
right.
It's more than that, actually.
Well, yes, we do serve a whole host of things. We've got brunch and we do bake on site as well. So yes, that's what we do.
Why Grumpy's?
Why Grumpy's? We had a few days to come up with a name. That's the story, and we settled on Grumpy's, and it's been a great journey so far. It's been a good name.
Certainly one people will remember because you've now just won Gauteng's greatest brunch spot, which is why I say it's a lot more than just a coffee shop. I'm certainly going to be popping by because I think one of the bonuses is that it's not in a very busy, heavy traffic shopping center, but it's easily accessible. So you get in and out. Parking is for free in the center, and you guys make great food.
Yes, you should come past and try our brunches. Just a word of thanks as well while we're at it for all our customers and the people that have supported us in the last year. We lost the Woolies, like you mentioned, next door to us. So it's been a particularly challenging year, but it's still been great. And yeah, thank you to all our customers, and thank you to everybody who voted for us as well.
All right, so if you're looking for a great brunch spot, Grumpy's is the place. And as we say, it's in Edenvale, at Eden Meadows, so just opposite Greenstone, which is literally at the corner of Van Riebeeck and Modderfontein. And it's a fantastic little brunch spot. I've had coffee there, so they're not paying me to say this. I promise you, nobody's paying me to say this. As soon as I realized, I was like, hang on, where is it exactly? Because that's in my area. And I've had coffee there, and it was absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to Grumpy's as Gauteng's greatest brunch spot. The idea, of course, isn't just to get Dylan here on the radio and look at his pretty face. The idea is to let all of Gauteng know there is the space. Go visit our winners, go show them some love, and experience the excellence firsthand. And I think we've got a little prezi for you. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
24 minutes after 6 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. The President is going to be responding to oral questions in the National Assembly today. That's scheduled for 2 o'clock in Parliament's Good Hope Chamber, covering all sorts of issues, where we are with the US and the trade deal and possible tariff reductions. He'll respond about the future of Postbank, what the national dialogue will do, all of that happening in Parliament today from 2 o'clock. The Gauteng Department of Education setting today as the deadline for parents and guardians to submit certified documents for online grade 1 and grade 8 admissions for 2026. Vicky Turner is with us in The Worldview and will telling us about 19 people who've been killed in Nepal as protests turn violent there. This is over government's decision to block 26 social media platforms, including Facebook, X and YouTube. So in Kathmandu, demonstrators stormed parliament fences, clashing with riot police who fired live rounds, tear gas and water cannons before retreating. It's an extraordinary story. Imagine being told you could no longer have access to your favorite social media platform. Imagine not being able to watch us on YouTube right now because we are live on our YouTube page. I can certainly see why people would riot over that, wouldn't they? US lawmakers have released Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book. This is an extraordinary development. So it's a 238-page scrapbook put together for Epstein's 50th birthday by his lover, Ghislaine Maxwell. One of the things that has been a point of controversy is that for a while now, the allegation has been Donald Trump was one of the people who wrote an entry in that book. He has denied it, going so far as to sue the Wall Street Journal, and now there's been evidence released that suggests that he indeed wrote in Epstein's birthday book. I'm going to play you a clip from one of the US newscasters a little after 7, but it makes for chilling reading because essentially he and Epstein in this little entry are discussing access. The implication very strongly suggests access to underage girls. Whether, of course, it is authentic or not is yet to be determined, but it makes for chilling reading. Mateo Haripe, what would you want people to write in your birthday book? Would you want a birthday book? That's
No.
something you would want?
No, tell
People
me
to tell
straight.
you how amazing you are and write it in colored pens.
Maybe I'm not fancy, but no, I wouldn't expect
The
that.
producers and I spoke about it, and it felt a little gauche to me. Like I'd
You'd have
feel
to be a
awkward.
certain type of person.
That's a note you get when you're leaving, when you've resigned, or when you're in
Yeah,
hospital.
but not for your
Not for my
birthday.
birthday. Canadian crooner Michael Bublé, born on this day, 1975. You know him, of course, for that silky voice, the timeless style. He rose to global fame with his jazz and swing-inspired albums, and this is probably one of his most fantastic hits.
By a million people, I still feel all alone. Just wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. And I've been keeping all the letters that I wrote to you. Each one a line or two. I'm fine, baby. How are you?
That's just the kind of thing you want to hear early in the morning. With Sfiso Zulu singing along. Come on. Put on your mic.
Hear the song
Sing
anymore.
loud.
I don't have my head.
Yes. Yes, come on.
I want to go to
1,
newsmakers.
2, go Sfiso.
Another aeroplane, another sunny place. I'm lucky, I know.
It's just pretending. If you scroll back on our YouTube, 20 seconds ago, Sfiso Zulu was singing
miming.
along.
I was miming.
Okay, let's go to the newspapers.
702.
The newspapers.
Mime the newspapers, would you?
Oh, wow. All right. Good morning, Bongani. The front page of the USA Today has quite an interesting piece about how men are changing their approach to menopause. And no, it's not because men are experiencing menopause themselves. It's that they are changing their approach to how
Some do,
their
though, hey?
women.
Some do.
Oh,
Male
really?
menopause is a thing.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is new information to me. So, but this is basically
You'll
about.
get there soon enough.
Can you stop?
Okay, I'm sorry.
So this is about how husbands, partners are basically now supporting their women through their menopause journey. There's a story here in USA Today about how this one husband who was raised to be just a provider who provides for the housing, the food, and lights, and that's it. No emotional connection with the family, and all he does is just be a provider of the family, has changed his tune after witnessing his wife going through menopause because he thought the changes are going to potentially ruin their marriage. So he decided to basically change his ways and hold the hand of his wife who is going through menopause. So I'd like to know from men out there who are going through similar situations, how are you handling the situation where your wife is going through menopause? Are you supporting her? And what tips can you give other husbands, other partners, other men who are experiencing this?
Oh, that's a great one, right?
Mm.
And wives, what would you want as support?
Yes.
Right? Or maybe not even just wives, women in
Just
general.
women in
If you're
general,
going through
from your male
menopause, what
counterparts,
kind
yeah.
of support would you like from your partner? The front page of the Business Day, graft, hit jobs are now industry. Essentially, the big interview we're going to have with Hendrik de Tooy after 7 o'clock, where he says corruption and contract killings have become industries in South Africa. The front page of the Sowetan, Amapanyaza are sitting ducks. Families of crime prevention wardens shot at by criminals bemoan scant safety for their loved ones. And the front page of the Citizen, no justice 3 years on. You remember the Jagersfontein mine dam collapse? Well, the victims are still demanding long overdue compensation.
EWN
Sarah wants to know about e-hailing services and if the apps that we use had a panic button, would that make it easier or the experience feel just a little safer? What prompts the question?
Bongani, South Africa's e-hailing service industry will face more regulations from transport authorities. The Department of Transport is getting ready to turn the screws on the industry. The new laws are expected to fundamentally change how e-hailing operators like Uber, Bolt and InDrive operate in the country. The e-hailing market in South Africa is valued at around 7 billion rand and is projected to grow significantly to close to 56 billion rand by 2030. But authorities want to make sure that the service is safe to use, and they plan to do this through the National Land Transport Amendment Act. Under this legislation, e-hailing drivers will no longer need to use charter permits and meter taxi operating licenses, but will instead receive an official e-hailing operating license. Our vehicles will also carry or be branded with a sign indicating there are e-hailing services, and their licenses will indicate the geographic areas in which they are approved to operate. Now, drivers will be vetted and subject to criminal record checks under the new regulations, and professional driving permit will also be required. The Portfolio Committee on Transport Chairperson Donald Salamulela says the new laws should be implemented by October. The services will need a panic button and drivers ensuring their profile photo is up to date for accurate client identification.
So one of the things that's a little unclear to me is the whole idea of some of these e-hailing services is that, oh, I don't know, if I'm in Randfontein, I can get a ride all the way back to Benoni if I choose.
Yeah.
But now if the driver's only licensed to operate in Randfontein, where am I going to get the guy who's going to take me to Benoni?
There's already a guy there. So the main thing is that if they show where you are supposed to operate, then they won't get into fights with those operating in the taxi industry. And their main argument, those in the e-hailing services are saying, we are the most regulated ones. We pay tax. You know who we are. But from the taxi industry side, you're not as tough when it comes to regulations.
Yeah, we've had that discussion before. Where's the rand?
17 Rand 48 against the US dollar, in a good position this morning at 20 Rand 57 cents against the euro and 23 Rand 68 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,648 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,394. Brent crude at $66.37 a barrel. More business after 7.
Go straight to the news desk. Fisa Zulu, good morning again.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Joburg Water says its reservoirs are still recovering this morning after levels dropped due to a power outage at Randwater's Aikenhof pumping station. This disrupted supply to Johannesburg, Miraflores, Mogale City and Rustenburg and left some areas with low pressure and others with no water at all. Joburg Water says the systems are expected to recover today. The body of a man has been found at sea in the Western Cape. Graham Hose had gone kite surfing offshore of Eden on the bay Sunday afternoon, but did not return, and this led to his family reporting him missing. After a full 24-hour search, his body was found yesterday along with his kite, sail and board. The National Sea and Rescue Institute says multiple agencies assisted to locate him. NSRI spokesperson Craig Limbanen.
Condolences are conveyed to family and friends of Graham Howes, who was located and recovered at sea, sadly deceased during ongoing search efforts on Monday.
A ballistics expert has been questioned in courts about her interaction with an alleged corrupt cop in the murder trial of steroid king Brian Weinstein. The officer took the stand yesterday at the Western Cape High Court as the trial continues. Alleged underworld gang boss Jerome Donkey Boyson and 11 others face 36 charges related to Weinstein's murder in 2017 and other crimes. Carlo Peterson reports.
A policewoman from the ballistic unit at the SAPS Forensic Science Laboratory in Plattekloof testified about how co-accused Wayne Henderson allegedly refused to take fingerprints from a firearm related to a nightclub security war in 2017. It's the state's case. Henderson, who is a former Sea Point police officer, agreed to accept a 100,000 rand bribe from accused number 4 Sam Farquharson to jeopardize the investigation. Henderson is accused of not collecting a firearm which he was supposed to examine for fingerprints. The witness says Henderson informed her unit she should continue with her ballistics report despite being instructed to collect the firearm for fingerprints. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Rupert Murdoch's children have reached a settlement in their long-running legal dispute over control of the mogul's media empire. His companies made the announcement yesterday, cementing his eldest son's leadership. The agreement resolves litigation after several siblings contested the eldest Murdoch's effort to install as successor his son Lachlan, who shares his father's political orientation. The new deal establishes a trust to replace the Murdoch family trust that had included Lachlan plus 3 other siblings. Under this agreement, Prudence MacLeod, Elizabeth Murdoch and James Murdoch will receive cash based on equity sales and cease to have holdings in either media company. U.S. media reported the value of the settlement would be at $3.3 billion to be split evenly among the 3 siblings. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got 2 major accidents along the M1 North. One happened right near the Xavier Street off-ramp, and it's causing heavy delays. And please, if you're traveling out of the Diepkloof area, try to avoid while traveling. In Germiston, another accident seen on the the M2 East before the Geldenhuys interchange, also causing delays. Please be on the lookout.
The top story this hour, Johannesburg Water says its reservoirs are still recovering this morning after levels dropped due to a power outage.
Spring into gardening at Chamberlain from 4 August to 12 October. Best Buy ceiling trays at R29.90 and Coltera compost at R24.90. Available at any of our 9 branches throughout Gauteng. Expert advice and friendly service guaranteed. You also stand a chance to win your share of 90,000 Rand in gift vouchers every Saturday until 12 October. Chamberlain, famous for hardware and gardening since 1903.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. So catch it this weekend. We're speaking to Netcare. Their group CEO, Dr. Richard Friedland, will be in conversation with us. And we do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongs and team. I was just listening to the discussion about being a victim of crime over the past year, and Mateo said something that made me chuckle. It was, he's been lucky. I think that's part of the problem. We shouldn't have to feel lucky if we're not a victim of crime. We should be in a state or a republic where we feel safe and that our government does what it's supposed to do. I think that kind of thinking is also part of the reason why we accept so much of the things that are going wrong in this country. And in terms of myself, I've been a victim of crime in the past, but I've also been lucky this year. Nothing happened to me. But in terms of, the corporate world and things that go wrong there's so many things that could be done better. And I think we sweep a lot under the carpet. And when you try and do the right thing, you get a target on your back. Jonathan from Mobata.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Welcome back. For me, it happened as recent as last week. On my way back from work, I stopped at a small complex on my way back and wanted to get into a shop just to buy bread and some few items. Locked the car and it felt like locked. And when I came back, in a few minutes, less than 15 minutes, my car had been opened into and they've stole the laptop bag, which had my work laptop. And it felt like I was dreaming. And I understood what people normally say when they lose certain items like car, and they will go like, I looked for this thing even in my pocket because I had left this thing just now here, and boom, when I'm back, it's gone. I literally looked everywhere, including the pockets. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I've looked for a car in a dustbin. I have. That's how crazy you go. And it could be something very insignificant. I mean, I flew from Cape Town to Johannesburg on Sunday, and my suitcase, they tried to open it. So they had found a way, when it locks in and you've got that coded thing. And they'd opened that, but they didn't actually get to the actual suitcase itself. But one of the lock things, I don't know what you call them, the things that go into the thing, and then you put in your code. They'd opened that. And perhaps they just didn't have enough time. I don't know, or maybe they got interrupted. But they were well on their way to opening my suitcase. I was lucky because they didn't. Isn't that funny? Jonathan in Milbarton says, it's crazy that we should say, if we haven't been victims of crime in the last year or so, we're actually lucky. We are, aren't we?
EWN Sport.
Mawande Mateza is in for Cindy Paluta. Very good morning, Mawande. Always great to have you on the show. It's a big day for the boys today, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Bongani. And South Africa could well qualify for the World Cup tonight. Crossing fingers, holding thumbs that is something that does happen. But
I got to interrupt you. I saw something on social media the other day where somebody said South Africa are preparing as if they're in Nigeria's position, and Nigeria preparing as if they're in South Africa's position. And it doesn't matter what you think you've achieved. Until you get over the Super Eagles on the continent, you ain't done
that. 100%.
You ain't done none, son.
And even the fact that Bafana are doing well and have done well under Coach Hugo Broos for the last 2 years, you don't want to get overconfident and you don't want to get to a position where you're not humble. Yeah. So expect tomorrow a lot of talking to happen.
If the All Blacks are our arch rivals in rugby, I'd say on African football, 100%. This is the one to get over.
Yeah, 100%. Agree with you on that one. But yeah, Bafana do have a big day ahead of them as they host Nigeria in a FIFA World Cup qualifier in Bloemfontein tonight. A victory for Bafana would put them on the brink of making it to next year's tournament, but there could be a hiccup along the way. EWN sports reporter Tolagele Mganga has more.
As they go in search of a win that will keep their 2026 FIFA World Cup hopes alive, Nigeria head coach Eric Chale has called on the World Footballing Governing Body to act fast regarding the situation around Tebogo Mokoena's yellow card.
I'm just a coach. I lead my team. What happened around my team and around this game, the yellow card, there is an organization. This organization, this name is FIFA. FIFA need to manage it. I think FIFA need to manage it quickly.
FIFA are yet to announce if Bafana will be sanctioned for fielding the suspended Mokoena that was in their 2-0 win over Lesotho back in March. As a result, there's still some degree of uncertainty regarding the true status of Group C. On the pitch, a win tonight combined with drop points for Rwanda and Benin in their respective clashes would see South Africa qualify for a first World Cup since 2002. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport, Bloemfontein.
Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, in the PSL, Brazilian forward Lucas Ribeiro Costa has written a farewell message to Mamelodi Sundowns fans, signalling the end of his stay with the Premiership champions. The reigning PSL Footballer of the Year has been linked with a move overseas after asking a FIFA tribunal to force Sundowns to terminate his contract last month. Sundowns maintained Ribeiro must honour his contract and have yet to comment on the latest development. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus insists they have to keep on winning while they continue to build for the future. He made 7 changes to his team to play the All Blacks on Saturday, and with players like Sasha Feinberg-Ngomezulu, Ethan Hooker and Kanan Moody starting in key roles, the team has quite a younger look to it than the aging squad that lost 24-17 to the All Blacks last weekend. Here's Rassie Erasmus.
Winning every match is quite important for us. We're trying to win or attempt or plan to win every match is the most important thing. It looks like we're still number 2 in the world rankings wise. If we get through this game, we'll either be number 1 or 2 in the world, I guess. It's try to balance it whilst winning, because I know the only thing that makes us all happy is winning. But there's a bit of an eye on the future without forgetting the present.
Kickoff on Saturday morning is at 9:05. Mawanda Mateza, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, Uncle Bongani and the 702 listeners. My name is Imaraka. I go to Brooklyn Primary School. I'm 12 years of age. When I grow up, I want to become a wealthy businessman. And may I please be featured on the Whiz Quiz today? Thank you.
All right, we're looking forward to playing with you, Emereka. Will you walk away with 10,000 Rand?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
Breathe in, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. In, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. Again, in, insurance. Out, pineapple. Again. And again.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
The South African Future Trust Summit is fast approaching. It's a premium entrepreneurial showcase returning to the Sandton Convention Center on the 5th and 6th of November, with international and local speakers sharing groundbreaking insights from their entrepreneurial journeys. It's an unmatched opportunity to network with like-minded entrepreneurs, innovators, investors, change makers. Over 2,000 delegates, over 200 exhibitions, all under one roof. Come and experience the extraordinary world of thriving entrepreneurs and business owners. To avoid missing out, get your ticket now for only 1,000 Rand, 1,800 Rand each for of the 2 days at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org. in partnership with 702.
EWN Traffic.
13 before 7, this Eyewitness News is brought to you by Amuhelang Ramila. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongs. Well, we've got an accident in Omondi on the M1 North. It's right near Xavier Street. Delays coming out of the Uncle Charlie's interchange. And if you continue making your way towards Braamfontein, do expect delays due to peak time pressure between Boysons Road and Carr Street. Traveling in Germiston, an accident reported on the M2 East, right near the Geldenace interchange. It's causing delays. The N3 North is also affected between the Yelands interchange and Van Buren Road. While in Alexandra, we've got another accident seen on the N3 North near Marlborough Drive. Delays from the Kilulis interchange. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Mzansi, set your sights on playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for 114 million rand in total guaranteed jackpots this Tuesday. You heard right, play Powerball for a guaranteed 57 million rand and Powerball Plus for the guaranteed 15.7 million rand too today. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda Push-Up Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
Local entrepreneurs don't just deserve your business, they deserve your applause. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
Every business begins with heart, but it thrives with the support of its community, and no one backs Gauteng's entrepreneurial dreamers like 702, Yoko, and you. So as you know, we've asked you to nominate them. Well, it's time to meet the winners of Gauteng's Greatest. And today, we have Gauteng's Greatest Bakery, the Breadbox Bakery and Studio. Matahonolo Ledwaba is the founder and MD of the Breadbox Bakery and Studio. How does it feel to win? Congratulations.
I'm actually surprised because they said finalists. So I was like, I came here not knowing what
You
to
didn't know
expect.
you'd won?
No, like
No,
they just
get
said
out of
finalists.
here.
I'm telling you.
Get out of here. You, madam, are the founder of Gauteng's Greatest Bakery. Did you bring any bread?
No.
That's why they didn't tell you. No, man, congratulations.
No, thank you very
You're
much.
on the rise. And obviously part of this is to get the word out there about small businesses. So if people want to find out how to have some of the Breadbox Bakery, how do they do so? How do they find you?
They will find us at Carlsworth Deco Center in Midrand. And then also online, they can order online via Uber Eats or Mr. D or on Zulzi at some time. Like they're baked goods mostly.
Okay. What
Yeah.
stands out about your bread?
I think it's our artisan bread, like your ciabatta and sourdough. I think it's to die for, even if I say so myself.
So man can live on bread alone, hey? Well, congratulations. Gauteng's Greatest Bakery is the Breadbox Bakery. I think you're also on social media, so people can look for the Breadbox Bakery, order from them. They're based in Carlsworth in Midrand, but you deliver all around Gauteng.
Yes.
And congratulations
No,
for being Gauteng's Greatest
Thank
Bakery.
you very much. I really think our supporters and especially the community around Midrand, because they've been very supportive, and we wouldn't be here without the community around us.
Once you taste the Breadbox Bakery's bread, you will go nowhere else. Congratulations, Matahonol.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, we speak about public procurement and the pitfalls that make it not as easy for the public sector to do what seems common sense and commonplace for the private. We're speaking to the DG of Water and Sanitation, Dr. Sean Phillips. But in the meantime, 12-year-old Emereka wants to win 10,000 Rand. Are you ready to play, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir. He says, I like it. He goes to Brooklyn Primary School, wants to be an accountant, so at least the calculations will be good. Emereka, here we go. KG, start the clock. In maths, what is 1/3 of 66?
Pass.
22. Spell the word elderly.
ALDER.
Elderly would be ELDERLY. True or false? South Africa has 2 public holidays in November.
False.
Correct. Which sport uses a bigger ball, squash or golf?
Golf.
Correct. Of which neighboring country is Maputo the capital?
Pass.
Mozambique. How many colors are there on the French flag?
3.
Correct. Is the study of rocks and minerals called geology or is it called dendrology?
Dendrology.
It's geology. What is the name of Donald Duck's girlfriend?
It's pass.
Daisy. Did you almost want to say Melania Duck? Mareka, a bit of a rough one for you, I beg your pardon. 3 correct answers, so 300 Rand is what you get. It's $100 for each correct answer. 10,000 Rand if you can get them all under 60 seconds.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance, 3,000 Rand up for grabs. You send us an answer based on something you heard on the show, you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072-702-1702. Then later, someone else will win 2,000 Rand by asking the question that gives us your answer. Remember, you stand a better chance of being selected if you've already SMS'd out to Outsurance to get a quote. So SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On to this now, 6 minutes to 7. We're good on policy, poor on implementation. How many times have you heard that refrain? I came across a fascinating article in the Business Day yesterday, written by the Director General of the Department of Water and Sanitation, Dr. Sean Phillips. And essentially in it, he says we need to change how we do the way we do things. But he says, before you point a finger at public servants, things aren't as easy in terms of flexibility, agility, and being creative when it comes to how you get things done. What may seem commonplace and maybe even feel like common sense in the private is not so easy to do in the public sector. He joins us now to explain. A pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to your listeners.
It was a fascinating piece that you wrote, and I just thought it's worth exploring because I think it's one of those that may help us better understand how the public sector works, but also, of course, you are calling for change. So, in a nutshell, what is the key difference that allows a lot less flexibility in the public sector than what you might be used to in the private?
The key difference, Bongani, is in the public sector we're dealing with the public's money. So there has to be a very high level of transparency and accountability. The public need to know what their money is being used for, and they need to know it is being used correctly and efficiently. As a result of that, we have very detailed, very prescriptive systems of control in the public service. And you have to follow very detailed procedures because there's a very strong emphasis on making sure that all expenditure follows mandated processes and that can be accounted for. In addition, because you're spending public money, it has to be seen to be fair. So in the private sector, for example, if you need to deliver a project and you need to urgently buy a laptop, you can quickly drive down to Incredible Connection and buy a laptop.
Yeah.
You can't do that in government if you're working in government. You have to go through an open procurement process to buy your laptop. Because it's public money, then everybody who might want to sell you that laptop has to have an equal and fair chance of selling you that laptop. So that restricts you in terms of your flexibility and your ability to move quickly.
Gosh, I mean, you say that it should follow all of these procedures and regulations, but the public perception will be that it doesn't appear that is always the case, and so that makes even the idea of changing things all that more difficult.
Exactly, you're quite right. So it would be very risky to say that we should just deregulate. Because because we're dealing with public money and because it's not the public servants' money. In the private sector, if you're running a company and you've invested in that company, you're unlikely to deliberately waste money or to steal money because you would be damaging yourself. But in the public sector, we're dealing with the public money. So there's a risk in the public sector because it's not the public servants' money that they might be tempted to be corrupt. So you need to have very strong controls in place to stop that from happening.
And you wrote in your piece that even the idea of acts committed in good faith isn't quite that simple if the rules are not followed in the public sector.
Yes, so because we're dealing with public money and because we need to manage the risk of corruption, we have very detailed rules and procedures that have been developed. But the situation is such that because of those very detailed rules and procedures, they've become so complicated that it can be very difficult to follow them. And sometimes public servants might act in good faith and make a mistake, and then the Auditor General will interpret the rules as saying that what the action that they took was not regular, and then they'll say it was irregular. And the only way to regularize that irregular expenditure can be through taking disciplinary action against those officials, even if they acted in good faith in terms of their interpretation of the very detailed regulations, which has resulted in a situation where public servants tend to be very risk-averse, which slows down service delivery more because public servants are very, very cautious about taking any risks because they know that they might do something in good faith, which turns out to be determined as irregular, and then they're going to have disciplinary action taken against them.
You say in your piece that in the private sector, essentially people act within the law, whereas in the public sector, people have to act specifically according to a law. How do we change it? I mean, how do we make sure we protect public money and that we are not corrupt, but at the same time build some agility in the system and flexibility so things can get done a little bit faster? What would the sweet spot be?
I think you're absolutely correct. It requires a balance. We need to find the sweet spot. I don't think we've yet found the sweet spot. We need to review our regulatory frameworks and wherever possible, make them more simple and less complicated. For example, in the area of infrastructure procurement, which I'm involved a lot with in my role as DG of the Department of Water and Sanitation, the regulatory frameworks are very complex and numerous. So, for example, there's Treasury regulations, there's the PFMA and the MFMA, but then there's a whole suite of practice notes, guidelines, and other documents which are published by National Treasury and the Construction Industry Development Board. There's dozens and dozens of them, and if you don't, your procurement can be found to be irregular if the Auditor General finds that you didn't comply with one of those practice notes or guidelines to the letter. So there's room for rationalization and simplification. Then I think the other important factor in determining the sweet spot is to particularly focus on large procurements, which are often problematic, and to professionalize them. I think in terms of regulating and trying to control, we tend to be too bureaucratic, and we tend to reduce things to ticking boxes, when actually something like a major infrastructure procurement requires professional expertise. In the private sector, they have chief procurement officers who are procurement professionals, registered with professional procurement associations. It's like being a doctor or an engineer. Procurement is considered a profession. I think we need to do the same with large procurements in the public service and start treating it in more of a professional way, requiring professional judgment rather than an extremely detailed bureaucratic exercise where you tick boxes, which, by the way, is not really working very well, because many of our large procurements, particularly in infrastructure, are resulting in the appointment of contractors who then fail to perform, and the projects go over time and over cost. So the existing system, even though it's so highly regulated, often isn't producing the results that we would like.
Yeah, I can see that. Dr. Sean Phillips, appreciate your time. Dr. Sean Phillips is the Director General of the Department of Water and Sanitation.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Have you been a victim of crime in the last year or so? What was it for you? Share your story. Send us a voice note on 072 702 1702. Up next, we speak to the CEO of 91, who says it's time we all stood up. This Eyewitness News, though, is brought to you by Khaliks. Khaliks, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is EWN.
The public will not be privy to some information from the Police Commission of Inquiry, and Ramaphosa is back in Parliament's hot seat today. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. It's emerged that some evidence at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry may not be for public consumption. Over and above being heard in camera, no transcripts of evidence will be made available to the media or the public. This was revealed during a media briefing yesterday, where it was outlined that such evidence could relate to undercover operatives and informants who infiltrate the criminal underworld on behalf of police. The commission was established following explosive allegations by KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi of political interference in the criminal justice system. Oren Singh reports.
One of the evidence leaders for the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry into Police believes there will be evidence that the commission hears which won't be made public. Advocate Matthew Chaskelson, who was part of the evidence leaders of the Zondo Commission into State Capture, spoke to the media during a briefing in Pretoria yesterday.
Some of the evidence we gather will include evidence from undercover agents who have been placed in criminal syndicates by the SAPS and who the SAPS use in their attempts to break these criminal syndicates. Now, if the identity of those people is disclosed, there is a very real risk that they will be killed.
Chaskelson says while they are committed to transparency, they have to prioritize the protection of witnesses. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
A colleague of murdered DA councillor in KwaZulu-Natal, Nhlalayenza Ndlovu, has praised the political killings task team for the arrest of the man accused of the crime. The unit has linked traditional healer Simphiwe Zuma to Ndlovu's murder. Zuma is also connected to 2 other murders committed before the hits on the councillor. This also forms part of the 121 dockets which were handed over to the task team recently to continue with investigations. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
It's been less than a month since the 121 dockets of the political killings task team were returned to the province, but the unit is already uncovering serious allegations. It's linked the murder-accused Inkosi Simphiwe Eric Zuma to a total of 3 murder cases in Howick alone and conspiracy to commit murder. Sandile Mnigati, a colleague of the late DA Umngeni local municipality councillor Nhlalayenza Ndlovu, has praised the task team.
Initially, we were a bit reluctant. We were afraid. We thought that they wouldn't do their job thoroughly. But having read the affidavit in response to his application for bail, it is clear that they've done their work thoroughly. I mean, Uqemane has really uncovered a number of things that we didn't even think about.
Zuma and his co-accused will return to court on Thursday and will appear in both murder cases. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Howick.
President Cyril Ramaphosa will face questions in Parliament today, ranging from the imposition of new U.S. trade tariffs, the ailing Postbank, and the purpose of the national dialogue. It will be Ramaphosa's first appearance in the National Assembly since the mid-year recess, in meeting his obligation to answer questions from MPs at least once a quarter. Later this week, his deputy Paul Mashatile will face questions in the National Council of Provinces. Lindsay Dentlinger takes a look.
Last month, the United States introduced new trade tariffs for South Africa that President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday told BRICS heads of state are already having an impact on employment. Labelling the tariffs as senseless, today EFF leader Julius Malema expects Ramaphosa to explain what impact he thinks they will have on current and future diplomatic relations with the United States. The ANC's chief whip, Mdumiseni Ntuli, meanwhile wants to know how government intends supporting the Post Bank so that intentions for a state bank can be realised. The DA's chief whip, George Mikalakis, has posed a question about the intended outcome of the national dialogue, which the party boycotted last month, and whether it's intended to facilitate economic growth, poverty reduction and job creation. Ramaphosa is also expected to give an assessment of the G20 presidency so far, as the country heads into the final months before handing over the presidency to the United States. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And a controversial birthday letter that Donald Trump allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003, which the US president claimed did not exist, has been published by a congressional panel investigating the late financier's sex crimes case. The letter, a typewritten message inserted into the sketched outline of a naked woman, was one of many notes sent by Epstein's friends that his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, now in prison, had compiled into a book for his 50th birthday. The Wall Street Journal had reported on the existence of this book and letter in July, prompting a $10 billion defamation suit from Trump. The U.S. House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed the book along with other documents from Epstein's estate as part of its investigation that was launched into the handling of the late sex offender's case. Gold is trading at $3,647.70 an ounce. The rand is at 17.48 to the dollar, 23.72 to the pound, 20.58 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.43 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got a major accident scene in the city of Tshwane. This one is along the N4 West, right near the Proof Plus interchange. It's causing heavy traffic volumes from Simon Vermeulen Road. Please be on the lookout there. Linwood Road is also affected by the scene, so please try to avoid.
And in sport, Nigeria's Super Eagles have been left unimpressed with the Free State Stadium pitch ahead of tonight's World Cup qualifier with Bafana Bafana. Springbok hooker Malcolm Marx accepts responsibility for their set-piece errors, and world number 7 Jack Draper ends his season prematurely due to injury.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg is at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 15 and 28. Vereeniging 11 and 28 as well. The top story in EWN this hour. It's emerged that some evidence at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry may not be for public consumption.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Decisions. Every day you make them, from the best strategy to win the case to new business presentations to keeping shareholders happy. If only decisions were as easy as choosing a visit to Gelix. Gelix offer the latest summer styles for business wear, guaranteed to keep you cool, free tailoring, the best value for money, and incredible bend-over-backwards service. That's Gelix. So when you next decide to make a winning call, decide on a winning visit to Gelix. Gelix, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes after 7 o'clock, top of mind has to be the crime situation in South Africa. I was one of the last people to interview the insolvency lawyer and business rescue practitioner, Cloete Murray. I've made that assertion many a time on this show. We interviewed him for Carte Blanche. And I remember speaking to him and making the assurance that one of the ways you can protect yourself, in fact, is putting a spotlight on the issues that you are dealing with, so that whoever wants to target you, naively I thought, could be shamed in stepping away. And so what happened to Cloete Murray? He was shot execution style, driving on the M1 just after New Road. These were expert marksmen. The bullet entered through the back of the vehicle and it went through the headrest, getting through to the back of his head. Dead instantly. His son was also killed and he died at the scene. We've now got yet another insolvency lawyer who's been killed brutally. People purporting to be clients walked into the office. Bam, bam, bam. Other lawyers have been receiving death threats. We can't even get an interview with the representative body, SARIPA. This is the representative body of insolvency lawyers in South Africa, because of the fear that permeates through the industry. The implications beyond this individual death are awful for business and how business is going to be done in South Africa going forward. This is one of those watershed moments that I think we'll look at in the future and be able to tell the consequences of in a very clear and shameful way.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Makes all the more sense then that even with this inquiry looking into the top echelons of our police. Of course, some of the evidence will not be for public consumption, because I suspect what that also means is that there's so much going wrong. There's so much rot at the top. But also, of course, you don't want the criminals to know what it is you are doing. Now, this controversial birthday letter that Donald Trump supposedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday in 2003 has been made public. I want you to have a listen to Nicole Wallace, who is a commentator and a former White House communications director, reacting to the news of the Jeffrey Epstein book. It really is just quite unbelievable. Have a listen to Nicole Wallace commenting on what is alleged Donald Trump wrote in there.
Democrats on the House Oversight Committee have released what appears to be the image that Donald Trump claimed never existed over and over and over again, to the point that Donald Trump has even sued the news outlet that first reported on the existence of this image. We're talking, of course, about the note Donald Trump allegedly wrote to his pal Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday. Here it is.
Well, have a listen to exactly how they describe that note. This is again from MSNBC.
Quote, voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes. Yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald Trump, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. End quote.
It's a chilling note, because essentially the exchange between the two men there is all about their big secret and penchant for spending time with underage girls. How chilling is that?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m. EWN.
Quarter after 7, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. There are delays in the capital. Amo, what's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. An accident reported on the N4 West right near the Proof Plus interchange is causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Simon Vermeulen Road. As a result, several routes within the area are affected. Routes like Simon Vermeulen, Linwood Road, as well as Atterbury Road. So please be on the lookout if you're traveling within this area and try to avoid the scene. While on the R80 East, Mabopane Highway, delays towards Eskom Patlele exit, obviously due to peak time delays. I'll have more updates and reports for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
20 years ago, you were driving by that street to get your daily newspaper, and 20 years ago, the Outsurance pointsmen were on the roads, easing traffic congestion. So whether you're an Outsurance client or not, we've all been getting something out. Show Outsurance pointsmen some love this month and celebrate this 20th anniversary using hashtag pointsmanlove. From Johannesburg, Tshwane, Paarl to Stellenbosch, let's celebrate. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. Outsurance is in proud partnership with 702, a licensed insurer, and FSP.
Time for a performance review of my FNB Gold business account. Giving my business up to 30% back in eBucks at Pick n Pay. No other card does this. It's real money back on expenses. I can even use eBucks to buy supplies from Take-A-Lot. I must give you a corner office, but you're a bank card.
The FNB Gold business account. No other card works harder for your business because saving you costs is worth it. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and earn rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Medical care, like music, needs continuity, a steady rhythm and pattern. Patients attended to on time, medication taken as prescribed. Cut the rhythm and it falls apart. Right now, global funding cuts are restricting access to healthcare. With your support, Doctors Without Borders can continue to provide medical care to communities worldwide. Because medicine, like music, only works when uninterrupted. Doctors Without Borders, we go there.
702 and corporates that care with Ekwele are talking about Ekwele's commitment to uplifting communities across South Africa.
From Akwele's side, we get a lot of requests for water. I think the access to clean drinking and safe water has become a daily challenge for many people. So we get a lot of requests. We really deliver hundreds and thousands of bottles every year. Recently, we saw a need for a more longer-term solution, more sustainable water solutions. When we turned 25, we delivered 25 water tanks to 25 communities all over South Africa. And it was really heartwarming to see what a difference a tank can make. The first tank we put up was at a school in Groudeville in KwaZulu-Natal, and the principal told us now they don't need to close their school anymore because sometimes they had to close school early because they didn't have water.
Akwele, making a positive impact one drop at a time. Learn more at akwele.co.za. 702. Let's walk the talk.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
Local entrepreneurs don't just deserve your business, they deserve your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
We continue, of course, to meet Gauteng's greatest business owners, entrepreneurial dreamers, backed by you, 702 and Yoko. We asked you to nominate your favorite local businesses, and you showed up. And now the spotlight turns to the winners. Gauteng's go-to for date night. Well, the bar has been set high. Congratulations to Zebediela Fun Corner. The owner of Zebediela Fun Corner, Isaac Sakikekana, is with us in studio. Saki, congratulations. You are the owner of Gauteng's go-to date night venue, Zebediela Fun Corner. Where is Zebediela Fun Corner?
Morning, Bongani, and morning to your listeners. Zebediela Fun Corner is in Tembisa, Winnie Mandela.
And why is it such a special place?
We do traditional events since 2022, every Sunday. So we appeal to a number of people, crowd as far as Limpopo coming to our place every Sunday. People all over Gauteng, they come there every Sunday.
I'm just going to ask you to come a bit closer
Yes.
to the microphone. So what
Yes.
can I experience when I'm there?
Traditional music, traditional events, groups participating, traditional
What do you mean
songs.
traditional events? What happens?
The Bapedi music, they're dancing, the Bapedi music, the Batsonga music, the Batswana music. So these groups are performing, young women, men groups, so entertaining the crowds every Sunday.
And people from all over Gauteng and other provinces
As far
come.
as they come,
Sunday
yeah.
is the time to go.
Sunday
is the key
time,
day to
yeah,
go.
yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, Bongani.
Zebediela's Fun Corner in Tembisa, the winners of Gauteng's go-to for date night.
702.
The big interview.
With Bongani Bingwa.
20 minutes after 7 o'clock, we've been asking a very simple question this morning. Have you been affected by crime recently? And in what way in the last year? Is it a house robbery? Was it a hijacking? Was it a mugging? Was it sexual violence? Maybe by even someone you know. The feeling of having a gun against your head, cold steel against your temple. Does it give you a shudder just to perhaps even remember? And worst of all, the feeling that the perpetrator was never caught. They got away with it. That is certainly the story of civil servant Babita Diokoran, the insolvency lawyers Clute Murray, and likely now Boa van Niekerk, all trying to halt commercial crimes, all gunned down in broad daylight to send a chilling message. It's the criminals that are in charge, not the police. Well, CEO of 91, Hendrik de Tooy, say it's time South Africans stood up. And he joins us now on the line. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, Hendrik. Perhaps today not under such pleasant circumstances, but you're saying enough is enough.
Morning, Bongani. And thank you, listeners. I think there comes a time, as we did in this country in the 1980s, when we all took a stand and we changed the place. This time has started now because once a society is engulfed by crime, once that cancer is inside, it's incredibly difficult to remove. And I think this is the number one challenge of South Africa. And what triggered my comment was the brutal murder of yet another legal professional involved in a process of investigating investigating crimes. And if we can't investigate them in a constitutional state, we can't prosecute them. And that's what makes it so important for our authorities to get their act together and society to put pressure on everyone.
Look, one of the reasons I wanted to speak to you was, as awful as this crime is, particularly, of course, for Van Niekerk's family and colleagues, at an individual level, the implications are far greater for the society and how business is conducted. I shared earlier that I was one of the last people to interview Cloete Murray for Carte Blanche some years ago when he was killed. If creditors cannot be assured that they're able to get their monies and this kind of white-collar crime is investigated thoroughly, that has serious implications for how business is conducted in a country, does it not?
Exactly, Bongani. I speak as a servant of the largest number of South African savers. At 91, we look after 3.3 trillion rand of other people's money, of which a little over a third, approximately a third, belongs to South Africans. And
Hendrik, are you still there? I think we don't know if we have you.
By the ordinary
Hendrik, hold
the
on.
ordinary laws and
we lost you there for a
rules of
second.
commerce, of civilized commerce.
Sorry, we lost you there for a second. Can I just ask you to repeat that again? And the line just died as we were speaking to him. We're trying to get him back because I think a lot of the focus around this issue has been the murder. And of course, it's horrific if anybody is killed in this way. But the implications for how business is conducted in this country, I think, need to be examined as well. Let's try and get Hendrik du Toit back on the line. Let's quickly take this Eyewitness News traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702.
EWN Traffic.
Well, traveling in Hyde Park, we've got an accident reported on Jan Smuts Avenue. It's right near Bumpers Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes. Please be on the lookout there. And if you are traveling within the Sandton CBD, do expect delays on Greyston Drive coming out of the M1. There's also queuing traffic along Rivonia Road. This is towards Greyston Drive, obviously due to peak time delays around this time of the morning. And then in the city of Tshwane, we're still dealing with that accident scene on the N4 West near the Proof Plus interchange. I'll have more details coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Does your wallet need a break? Then an Outsurance quote is just what you need. Get a quote, and if Outsurance can't beat your car insurance premium, ask them for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you always get something out. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
All right, we've got Hendrik du Toit back on the line. Hendrik, I asked you a very simple question that as awful as the individual murder is, this kind of crime has serious implications for how commercial activity is conducted in a country.
And Bongani, thank you very much for getting me back online. It's very clear that if the ordinary rules of commerce don't count and we don't have legal certainty, the values of assets will significantly depreciate, and that will cost South Africans an enormous amount of money. It will cost them the opportunity to retire with dignity, and that's the business I'm in at 91. We look after, as I said, 3.3 trillion Rand of assets of other people, of which approximately just over $1 trillion is from South African savers, of which a significant part is invested in this country. And therefore, this is an important issue, societal issue. It is not, but we shouldn't also just think of the macro. Every death this way is absolutely unnecessary. You know, we lost Cloete Murray. We don't know who killed him and his son. We lost Oma Fole. We don't know who killed him. A range of people. Sima Pini, all of these people have not been accounted for.
I mean, we've got a murder detection rate of just over 12%. that tells you that more than 80% of all murders in this country are then not solved? What does that tell you about the police?
It tells you that murder and crime has become a large-scale industry, or have become large-scale industries. It tells you that the law enforcement agencies need urgent reform. I think we can have commissions. We had the Madlanga Commission. We're having it now, wonderful, but ultimately it needs leadership changes. It needs renewal from inside and decisive leadership from the top. The Tulare Commission in 2021 exposed most of the corruption that's happening in Gauteng. What was done? Nothing.
Sure. Just perhaps one last word, because I really think it's important to really, really explain it. You talk about what the implications are for commercial activity in South Africa. So this isn't just something to shake our heads at in terms of this poor fellow and his family and colleagues. But how would this kind of thing, I mean, if you've got insolvency and business rescue practitioners afraid to do business, many of them getting threats and withdrawing from matters, what does that actually mean for the ordinary person?
Well, the reality is, if legitimate claims cannot be enforced, then the value of those claims will become less. What do savers own? Savers own claims on future cash flow, whether that is through credit instruments, the money market or credit funds, or whether that is owning the shares of businesses, which all do business in legitimate ways. So in a sense, it makes all of us poorer, because what happens with capital goes to places where it finds certainty. What have we seen of late in the United States, where the president and the government has become unpredictable? Well, the mighty dollar has started to weaken. Capital is being withdrawn. Capital is going to, it doesn't have that much, the US is a fantastic place to invest in, but actually this year it has slowly been withdrawing because it fears the uncertainty and unpredictability. What we can do in South Africa, we make ourselves predictable, a place with a strong legal system, which we've always prided ourselves on. I mean, since for the last 150 years, we've had one of the world's best legal systems. If we can protect and retain that, we will all be much better off. And then our chance of building a growing economy, an economy that can give our children jobs and provide a better life for all, is so much better. So that is the reason why all of us, wherever we are, whatever influence we have, should start not just talking, but acting in the right way and making sure that this country goes the way it can go, which is building a prosperous, inclusive society for all.
Indeed, our very future is at stake, essentially. CEO of 91, Hendrik de Tooy.
EWN Business.
All right, this business report is probably brought to you by GIC. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC sets a better standard of living. GIC changing lives. Sun International profits boosted by digital casinos, Mateo.
Yeah, that's what went well for the company. Sun International saying Sunbet was one of the units that boosted the company. The group posted major rise in profit for the first half of the financial year, driven by a strong performance in its digital gaming unit. Although it's doing well on the digital front, some of its brick and mortar urban casinos have suffered, with profits there down 4% to 631 million rand. As Sun International says, Sunbet contributed around 874 million rand to its earnings.
And Standard Bank securing Sim Chabalala's successor. Good news.
Yeah, Standard Bank Group has appointed David Hordnett as the new CEO of Standard Bank of South Africa. The move is part of its leadership succession plan, with current CEO Sim Chabalala set to retire in 2027. Now, Hordnett is currently the group's chief risk officer and head of corporate affairs. He brings more than 30 years of leadership experience in the financial services sector. Tabani Ndwandwe will succeed Hordnett as Group Chief Risk Officer at Standard Bank.
Where's the rand?
17 Rand 47, still in a good spot against the US dollar at 20 Rand 57 cents against the euro and at 23 Rand 71 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,656 an ounce. It's up more than 0.5% this morning. Platinum up close to 1% at $1,395. Brent crude at $66.52 a barrel. More business after 8.
Change requires skill, an agile body to fill the gaps. But real change moves collaboratively, progressively, enabling, because it knows what to do and how to improve the lives of the deserving. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC actively brings change for the better, because real change sets a standard of living, of being. GIC, changing lives.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, good morning again.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has downplayed the South African Human Rights Commission's worries that his planned mass evictions of people from informal settlements will be inhumane. Last week, Lesufi warned of an unprecedented number of removals and getting rid of informal dwellings. Lesufi also announced the operations will take place in the crack of dawn while people are sleeping. The Human Rights Commission has described his plan as dangerous, but he says the Commission has nothing to worry about.
So we're not doing this because we're inhuman. We're not doing this because we are reckless. Myself, I'm a victim of Group Area Sect and evictions. My parents were moved from Edenvale to Tembisa when I was still a baby. I can't repeat that kind of things. We'll do these things as humane as possible, but we're not going to allow people that are taking advantage of our Ubuntu or want to hide behind our legal system.
Johannesburg Water says its reservoirs are still recovering this morning after levels dropped due to a power outage at Rand Water's Aikenhof pumping station. This disrupted supply to Johannesburg, Mirafong, Mogale City and Rustenburg and left some areas with low pressure and others with no water at all. Joburg Water spokesperson Nombuso Shabalala says systems are expected to recover today.
The restoration follows power challenges over the weekend at the bulk supplier's Vereeniging raw water treatment plant. This then reduced the capacity of the Aikenhof pump station and in turn affected supply into some of Johannesburg Water's systems. Johannesburg Water has, however, noted improved inflows, but the system still remains constrained.
Women between the ages of 15 and 24 have been identified as the group with the highest weekly numbers of HIV and TB infections in South Africa. Deputy President Paul Mashatile revealed the statistics at the 12th South African AIDS Conference in Ekurhuleni yesterday. Industry leaders, researchers and academics and top government officials gathered for the conference opening. Jabulile Mbata was there.
Deputy President Paul Mashatile says the health department is responding to the crisis with two campaigns. The first is called Close the Gap, Start and Stay on HIV Treatment, and secondly, End TB campaign. The TB campaign is targeting testing 5 million people during 2025 and 2026. Mashatile says South Africa carries the highest HIV and TB numbers, with prevalence among people aged 15 and 49.
If HIV and TB were a snake, its head would be found in South Africa. This means, colleagues, the global community is counting on us to achieve epidemic control for everyone in order to win. And as Dr. Kulu always said, we dare not fail.
He says these campaigns would reduce TB mortality by 2035 if achieved. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News, Empress Palace.
And government leaders have called on South Africa to draw lessons from South Korea, Singapore and Malaysia, which have seen high return on their investment in human capital, innovation and digital infrastructure. Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Blaine Nzimande and KwaZulu-Natal Premier Tamin Ntuli were among delegates at the opening of the annual GovTech conference in Durban yesterday. They are part of a bid to improve the use of technology to drive service delivery, strengthen decision-making across the board and grow the economy. While there are some drawbacks to the rapid changes in technology, Ntuli says the good outweighs the bad.
In today's context, knowledge and information are among the most powerful tools for transformation. When harnessed and shared, particularly through ICTs, they have the capacity to reshape economies, strengthen governance, and improve the quality of life for citizens.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic in Parktown, we've got rather Hyde Park. An accident reported on Jan Smuts Avenue near Bumpers Road is causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and Marlborough Drive.
The top story this hour, Premier Panyaza Lesufi has downplayed the Human Rights Commission's concerns that his planned mass evictions of people from informal settlements will be inhumane.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Whether it's a sun-soaked beach escape, adventure-packed tour, or luxury cruise, Flight Centre is your go-to for travel. From flights and hotels to tours and cruises, we've got it all. Plus travel insurance for peace of mind. If you want the best deals, you can save more by taking advantage of our Bundle Plus Save offer. Plan your trip today at your nearest Flight Centre store or visit flightcentre.co.za. Flight Centre, your centre for travel.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and the lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSPN registered credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongles and team. Crime is very scary in South Africa. You never know anywhere, anytime it happens. My experience, I traveled to Cape Town and for dinner I met my brother who stays there, and then he's taking me around the places, and we went to the restaurant back and touring a little bit of town and that, and the window was a little bit open as I was busy capturing some moments in terms of a phone camera. So this guy came in the middle of nowhere and my phone was gone. Through that space of that window, my phone was literally gone. We stopped on the road. We tried to chase. The guy was gone, literally. So it is really scary because then we are not safe at all and nothing seems to be changing. Thanks a lot for a great show, guys. Shadi, Kempton Park.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. I don't know if I should consider myself like you or what, but yeah, someone had stolen my phone. And I was able to track it using Google Find Hub. Luckily, I had my location on and my data on. So I just used Google Hub to find it. And I was using my other phone to actually find the main phone. So I quickly went to SAPS Parkweg and I was able to get help. But I had to wait for a van for about like an hour. And I was able to track my phone using Google Find Hub. So I guess I should consider myself lucky.
I'm a victim of a crime, Bongani. The bullets that riddled the door, that riddled the wall, the scream of my husband in the house. I'm just this mad about them. And you ask yourself, if people are killed in the comfort of their own houses, then where must we live safely? It's very hard. It's very hard. It's 10 years now, Bongani, but the trauma is still there and it doesn't go.
Doesn't leave you, does it? Prisoners in our own homes, these high walls, these security systems, and those of us who are lucky can do that. Not everybody can. I mean, how safe do you feel just walking in your neighborhood, in the street? Would you walk in your street at night alone? Would you decide that you just need a breath of fresh air? Maybe you're having an argument with your significant other and you just want to go take a walk. Is that something you would do? How sad it is that we end up walking around the actual house. You know, when you want to take a walk in the evening, you end up just walking around the building. Because if you go out of the gate, goodness knows what might happen to you. Tell us your crime story.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance and a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand. First 1,000 Rand for the answer, Then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Claude has today's answer. Claude in Orange Farm, what's today's answer, please?
Today's answer is Michael Bublé.
Ooh, that's a lovely one. Michael Bublé is the answer. Claude, tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I have.
Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to 702 and Outsurance. So there you have it. Claude says the answer is Michael Bublé. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Two questions. Mawande Mateza in for Cindy Paluta. How crucial is tonight's game for Bafana Bafana? And how crucial is it for Nigeria?
Well, for Bafana Bafana, a loss won't be the end of the world. There's still 2 more matches remaining in the World Cup qualifiers. They can still make it. Their fate will still be in their own hands. For Nigeria, if they lose tonight or drop points, that is the end of the road for them. They don't make it to the US, Canada, and Mexico next year, pretty much.
So you know the Super Eagles are going to be there. They're coming for everything.
Yeah, it's everything to play for, basically. But yeah, Nigeria are preparing to take on Bafana Bafana in a must-win encounter tonight to keep their hopes of qualifying for next year's World Cup alive. The Super Eagles are 6 points behind the group leaders Bafana and must win all 3 remaining games to stand a chance of making it there. Ahead of tonight's clash, Nigeria coach Eric Shull is unimpressed with the condition of the Free State Stadium pitch.
We are happy to be here. I'm just a little surprised because tomorrow we'll play in the rugby stadium, but I think it's a very good stadium. Tomorrow this is a big game for us and for South Africa. We want to come and to do our best game that we can do.
Meanwhile, Bafana coach Hugo Bruch says with everything at stake, Nigeria are under more pressure to deliver a result.
We are in a good position, but it's still not finished. It should be a big mistake from our side to think now that nothing can happen again. It's up to us to play a very good game against a very good team who maybe will play his last chance tomorrow. If Nigeria is not winning, then they are in very big problems, so the pressure is on them.
Kickoff in Bloemfontein is at 6 p.m. Springbok hooker Malcolm Marx has accepted responsibility for their misfiring set pieces in the Rugby Championship this season. The Boks lost 4 lineouts in the 24-17 loss to the All Blacks on Saturday and have an accuracy rate of under 80% in the competition, well below the expected standard. And Marx has been given another chance to fix his mistakes as he was named to start in next Saturday's rematch.
I think I've also got to take some form of responsibility for it. I've got to get the ball in right, make sure I'm hitting it in the right areas where it's been called. It's also down to good contesting at the same time. I think the All Blacks prepped really, really well, especially on our foreman. And you got to give credit where credit is due. But for me, I think I need to make a personal step up in making sure that I'm a bit more accurate.
And world number 7, Jack Draper, will miss the rest of the ATP season due to injury. Draper withdrew from the US Open prior to his second-round match with an arm injury that also kept him out of the tournaments leading up to the final Grand Slam of the year, having last played at Wimbledon in July. And this means he'll also likely slip out of the top 10 rankings by the end of the year. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News Sport.
Tani Esther, or should I say the Tupperware Tani? How's business going?
Business is booming. I've been operating out of the boot of my car for 10 years, but shame, it couldn't keep up with my growing empire.
Okay, so you sold it to We Buy Cars?
Yes, quick. Sold my old one, bought a bigger one. I even sold some of my Tupperware to the friendly guy who picked up my car.
Stick to what you know best, eh, Tani?
Excuse me?
Never mind. We Buy Cars. Geared for your business, geared for you.
It's time to eat, dance and celebrate. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lottostar, is serving up 2 days of world-class entertainment from international acts to South Africa's finest artists, alongside culinary masterpieces from the best local chefs. Browse fashion and art, take part in live cooking demos and soak up the festival's electric atmosphere. Saturday, 20 September, for you and your crew. Sunday, 21 September is for the family picnic vibes. DSTV is turning 30 and you're invited to the party. 1 ticket, endless experiences. Tickets at Ticketmaster. More on deliciousfestival.com.
EWN traffic.
Now, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Amo, tell me more about that crash. Was it in Hyde Park, you said?
It is indeed, Bongani, along Jan Smuts Avenue near Bumpus Road. It's causing heavy delays at this particular moment. And not far from this scene, I was told about faulty traffic lights in Melrose along the M1 South and Corlett Drive. They're causing delays coming out of Greyston Drive. So this is the southerly direction of the M1. While traveling towards Deep Kloof, we've got an accident reported on the N12 West. It's right near the Deep Kloof interchange. Delays from Xavier Street. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 North between the Earlands interchange and Modderfontein Road, and that's due to peak time delays there. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience, bringing you closer to nature. Adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities from 4x4 routes or the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes, majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. This message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Arturance. Please tell me what's the question if the answer is Michael Bublé. Let's go to the lines, and I think it's Warren in Rosettenville. Warren, what's the question?
Good morning, Bongani. The question is, which Canadian-born singer was born on this day in 1975? Which makes him turn 50.
You've covered all your bases there, Warren, all your T's and C's. Indeed, one of the brightest stars to emerge in popular music, I would say, in the last couple of decades, bringing back older music into fashion, and what a fantastic job he has done. Congratulations, Warren. 2,000
Thank you very much, Bongani.
Your way, all thanks to Arturance and 702. And a happy birthday, Michael Bublé.
You are the poster child, the biggest saver we've ever had.
I decided that I would contact Outsurance and let them work out what they could do for me.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, big saving. 2,794 Rand a month.
That's over 33,000 Rand a year.
And it was the easiest switch ever. Real people helping real people get real deals.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. License Insurance FSP, T's, C's and information online.
Mzansi, set your sights on playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for 114 million Rand in total guaranteed jackpots this Tuesday. Yeah, you heard right. Play Powerball for a guaranteed 57 million Rand and Powerball Plus also for a guaranteed 57 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *725# for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
In ancient Corinth, as Alexander the Great approached the philosopher Diogenes and offered to grant him any wish, Diogenes simply replied, "Stand a little out of my sun." At Plus 94 Research, we believe in illuminating the path to informed decisions. By removing the shadows of uncertainty, we let the light of data-driven insights shine through. Don't let assumptions cloud your vision. Step into the light of clarity. Plus 94 Research, the science of decision-making.
Local entrepreneurs don't just deserve your business, they deserve your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
Right, so what we've been doing all morning, obviously, is putting a spotlight on the winners you chose, 702. The winners whose dreams you have backed with Yoko. And, of course, over the past few weeks, as you nominated your favorite local businesses, we now turn the spotlight to Gauteng's greatest. And now in the category, the greatest food and crafts market, the winner is, drum roll please, Bryanston Market. Keris Ferro is the managing director of the Bryanston Market and joins us in studio. Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You were telling me off air, you guys have been going on for 50 years.
Yes, 50 years, established in 1976.
Gosh.
Starting from the boots of cars, parents selling vegetables from the boots of the cars. And that's how the market started, as a fundraiser for the school.
Now, of course, there are a number of markets around Johannesburg these days. What makes yours special?
Ours is special because we are leaders in conscious living. So we focus on healthy foods, natural produce, and quality handmade crafts. So supporting local artisans, and that's created like a family-friendly community vibe that makes us very special.
And you're open Thursdays and most weekends, yeah? Every weekend?
Every Thursday and every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Goodness me, well, congratulations on being chosen as the greatest food and crafts market in Johannesburg. Thanks to the votes of 702 Landers and, of course, Yoko. Yoko keeps the lines moving and the orders coming, all without missing a beat. Yoko Counter gives you the control to track sales, stock, and staff in real time. Ready to upgrade? Go to yoko.com.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
And now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Buongiorno, bon girls. Welcome back. Did you sip on beautiful Chianti? Some fava beans?
I go away for 1 week and the madness takes over.
We missed you.
Kabazela, now tell me, do you look your age?
Yeah, I mean, I've always looked younger than what my age is. I mean, even growing up, I struggled to get into over 18 clubs. I had to always produce the ID where some of my mates would be fine to get in. So it's probably now in my older years, my 44 years of age. I don't look it. Thankfully, that's what people say. But, there are those people that are just unbelievable when it comes to aging. And they just, physically, mentally, they are so sharp. So this video we're talking about is a woman who's elderly, but she doesn't look it. So this guy ends up chatting to her in the shop. And it turns out she is 90 years old. Now, if you think of 90, generally you'd think, maybe you got a walking stick, could be in a wheelchair, maybe just, at home, doesn't leave the house, and very, very wrinkly skin, etc., etc. This woman is unbelievable. She has none of that. And he strikes up a conversation with her. Let's take a listen.
Yes, exactly. This beautiful lady, I cannot believe it. She is 90 years old. 90 years young, yes. And look how gorgeous you are. Yes, and you know what I'm saying? And she has no cane, no wheelchair, nothing. She's shopping on her own. This is unbelievable. That's how I want to be, right? This literally has blown my mind. I thought she was like 55, 60 max. Well, listen, man, are you single?
I'm a widow.
You're a widow?
My husband died in December.
I'm so sorry. How old did he make it to?
91.
Wow. Well, you got another 20, 30, 50 left in you, the way you're moving around.
I'm
Jesus.
so lonesome. It's such a lonesome thing. I just hate it.
Oh, man, you look great.
44?
She looks about, at a minimum, I would put her at, 62, 63? That's, and even then she'd look good. For that age.
At the most, really. So absolutely unbelievable. And a lot of people are asking, well, why didn't you ask what her lifestyle is? Does she drink? Does she smoke? All these things. So let's put the question out there this morning. Do you know somebody that is, of an older generation who just looks unbelievable for their age? And have you asked them what their secret could be? Maybe, sometimes you get surprised. You would think they don't drink.
Oh, I think Kabazela's got YouTube probably in the background, and he's not muted that as a 44-year-old. Kabazela wants to know, do you know somebody who looks significantly younger for their age? I mean, other than me. Who else do you know that looks significantly younger than their age. I mean, I'm pretty proud of the fact that for 51, I don't look it. I certainly don't think I act it. And I defy you to disagree. You can go check me out on my Instagram or even our YouTube page now. Who else do you know that has defied age over time?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland with smart tech and striking design. It's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Yes, Amo, let's not cause any accidents.
All right.
We both look younger for our age, don't we?
I'm actually okay because a lot of people say that I look a bit older and I'm fine with it.
Because of my child.
Yeah.
My child. What's happening in traffic?
Well, we've got delays in Melrose on the M1 North. So this is just as you come out of Corlett Drive. Do remember that also we've got full traffic lights at Corlett Drive and the M1, and that's the reason for these queues, as well as an accident after Harton Drive. I'll have more details coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance. Grand! Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights. Grand! Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby. Grand! It's even got massage seats. Grand! Visit opel.co.za for more.
702.
702.
Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Baphelile Sambo.
Hey,
Very good
Bongani.
morning to you.
Good morning to
Did I
you.
lie to the people?
No, you didn't.
Thank
You
you
actually
very
look
much.
like you could pass for 30.
Like
if you are pushing it, you know.
That would be pushing
No,
it.
guys, come on.
I still, well, I mean, I say that now, but I'm still frequently getting the Grootman timer, you know. I haven't had a Madala yet, but it's probably coming. What else do you have?
Bongani, the question we asked 702 lenders this morning to share their experiences with crime, we've been receiving overwhelming responses. Some incidences as little as over a weekend ago. Some people have experienced something that happened a past weekend. Could be a carjacking, being held at gunpoint. I myself also experienced something recently where I
Really?
stay.
Yeah.
It was a car hijacking, but because I'm so scared and I was peeping through the window, it was the wee hours of the morning. I was so scared to even call for help because I'm like, if they see me, those people are taking the driver. If they get to see me, they might also maybe do something to me, shoot me or see my face, you know, or come after me. So it's one of those things where you're like, do I help when I see something happening or am I scared for my
So
life?
you want yourself being hijacked. You witness somebody
I
else being...
witnessed somebody being hijacked, but I was
Sure.
scared to call for help and, you know, assist in any way possible. Like I
'Cause you
couldn't
thought-
do anything about it. And I feel bad because I thought if I do something, they see me, then I'm next because I've seen a crime happen.
Gosh.
Yeah.
What's your experience with crime? Share your story, because all of these things may feel like isolated incidents for those that, you know, to whom they have happened, but they affect all of us and we all need to deal with it. It's 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
The Apex Court is expected to hear the ongoing challenge to some aspects of the NHI, and authorities explain the knock-on effects of gun attacks in courts. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Constitutional Court is set to hear a challenge to the National Health Insurance Act brought by Solidarity, the Board of Healthcare Funders and other groups. The act, signed into law by President Cyril Ramaphosa in May last year, seeks to create a central fund to pay for healthcare services and guarantee universal health access. But applicants argue that the certain provisions give the state excessive power over private health facilities and medical practitioners, violating rights to trade, property and access to health care. Mongezi Koko takes a look.
In July last year, the Gauteng High Court ruled that sections of the National Act, including the controversial Certificate of Need requirement, were irrational and unconstitutional. Prosecutors for the state are now asking the Constitutional Court to overturn that decision arguing that the provisions are necessary to transform the health sector and give effect to Section 27 of the Constitution, which guarantees access to healthcare. Solidarity and other applicants counter that the provisions amount to limits on private medical practice, breaching Section 22, which protects freedom of trade, and Section 25, which safeguards property rights. The case now rests with the Constitutional Court, which will decide whether the NHI Act strikes the constitutional balance between state-led universal healthcare and protection of fundamental rights. Mongi Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
It's emerged that some evidence at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry may not be for public consumption. Over and above being heard in camera, no transcripts of the evidence will be made available to the media or the public. This was revealed during a media briefing yesterday, where it was outlined that such evidence could relate to undercover operatives and informants who infiltrate the criminal underworld on behalf of police. The commission was established following explosive allegations by KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi of political interference in the criminal justice system. Oren Singh reports.
One of the evidence leaders for the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry into Police believes there will be evidence that the commission hears which won't be made public. Advocate Matthew Chaskelson, who was part of the evidence leaders of the Zondo Commission into State Capture, spoke to the media during a briefing in Pretoria yesterday.
Some of the evidence we gather will include evidence from undercover agents who have been placed in criminal syndicates by the SAPS and who the SAPS use in their attempts to break these criminal syndicates. Now, if the identity of those people is disclosed, there is a very real risk that they will be killed.
Chaskelson says while they are committed to transparency, they have to prioritize the protection of witnesses. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Western Cape Judge President Nolwazi Mabindla Bongani says the recent spate of court shootings in Cape Town have demoralized workers and left communities scared. The judge and other officials met with Deputy Justice Minister Andrew Snell yesterday to discuss attacks at court precincts in Cape Town. On Friday, a man was shot dead at the entrance of the Athlone Magistrates Court. The attack came 2 weeks after another person was shot and killed in front of the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court. And in April, there was a fatal shooting in the corridors of the Wynberg Magistrates Court. Ntutuzelo Honene takes a look.
Cape Judge President Nolwazi Mabindla Bongani has described the recent court shootings as a scourge that has brought trauma for court workers and residents of surrounding communities. Mabindla Bongani adds that cases have also been delayed due to disruptions caused by the attacks.
And obviously the psychological impact it has on everyone, the magistrates, the prosecutors, legal representatives, communities and vulnerable people that come in the courts.
She adds that security will be beefed up inside and outside the court buildings to ensure public safety. Dutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
And authorities in Tunisia have denied claims that one of the vessels bound for Gaza carrying aid and pro-Palestinian activists, including Greta Thunberg, was attacked by a drone. Global Sumad Flotilla says its vessel was struck by a drone while anchored outside the port of Sidi Bou Said in Tunisia. The humanitarian aid boat left Barcelona last week and arrived in Tunisia on Sunday. The organizers say their family boat was struck in Tunisian waters and fire damaged the main deck. But Tunisia's National Guard says reports of a drone attack on the vessel have no basis in truth. Gold is trading at $3,658.70 an ounce. The rand is at 17.47 to the dollar, 23.72 to the pound, 20.58 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.50 a barrel.
And traffic remains very slow on the M1 North between Harton Drive and Coyle Drive due to an accident, as well as faulty traffic lights while traveling on the N3 North. Delays between the Yelands Interchange and Modderfontein Road.
And in sport, Bafana stand a chance to secure World Cup qualification as early as tonight with a win against Nigeria. Mamelodi Sundowns star Lucas Ribeiro announces his departure from the club. And Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus shies away from criticising the referee in their loss to New Zealand.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Constitutional Court is set to hear a challenge to the National Health Insurance Act brought by Solidarity, the Board of Healthcare Funders and other groups.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast on this, the 9th of September, the year of our Lord 2025. It's Clive's birthday today. We wished him in the group, and he's kind of floating around, refusing to come. He's floating around, floating about, but it is his birthday. Is it your birthday today? Happy birthday to you if you are celebrating. All morning, of course, we've been celebrating with the winners of Yoko's greatest awards in Gauteng. It's been absolutely fantastic with Gauteng's greatest with Yoko this morning. We spoke to Sean Phillips, the Director General of the Department of Water and Sanitation, and he says it's necessary for public procurement to happen in a particular way. You're dealing with public money, and you're dealing with an environment in which people can be very easily tempted to be corrupt. So there's rules upon rules upon rules upon rules upon rules. And he made a practical example that if you're running a business and you need a laptop, you simply drive down to wherever it is being sold and you buy one. In the public sector, somebody has to bid to sell you one. It's a whole process. What would take nothing more than an hour to turn around, in the public space, it's a matter of months just to procure that one laptop. But if you deviate from those rules, even with the best intention, you could fall foul of the law. How do we fix it? How do we get more agility and flexibility for better delivery?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 8 o'clock, because I can, I'm going to bully my colleague Muteo Kharipe to weigh in on this. You heard my conversation with Hendrik de Toy after 8 o'clock. And whilst of course it is completely shocking for any individual, for any citizen or any human being to be killed in the brutal way in which Boa van Niekerk was killed last week, as awful as that individual murder may be, Muteo, there are significant implications in terms of how commercial activity works in any country, how investment works in any country. When you put your money aside with an eye to a future where perhaps you will no longer be able to earn an income, you want to be guaranteed that when you need the money you put away painstakingly over years is available to you.
Yeah, when you invest, you want stability, firstly in a country, whether it's through the leadership or just how the country is run. The reason that we are on the grey list is because we haven't had those levers pulled in order to make sure that that money is safe. We're not having a lot of, terrorism financing in the country, which we were also flagged for. Once investors see things like that, they're like, that doesn't look like a place I should be putting my money in.
Sure, but just for the average Joe Soap, if you've got a pension and your fund decides to invest in company X, right? You want to make sure that the money that was invested in whatever business is able to earn a return. And if those businesses suddenly go bust because money is being siphoned, your investment money is being siphoned off for something else, you want some kind of recourse. Now, when the lawyers who try and get that money back are killed, that has all kinds of implications for who we are as an investment destination.
As an ordinary person, the one thing you do rely on in a country is the rule of law. So if somebody does you wrong, they take your money, or the businesses that you've invested in siphon your money, you call the lawyers. Now, if the lawyers are afraid to take on those cases and say, look, we get cancelled out when we ask the questions, then you end up with nothing yourself.
Imagine being part of a profession where there's only around 300 of you in the entire country. 300. lawyers who specialize in this type of investigative work and who wrap up businesses and get money back for creditors. I think the Sunday Times gave us a figure of 316 this past weekend. How much do you love your job, hey? Amo, somebody phones you and says, Sisi, if you don't resign, you're not going to see the end of this week.
I think it's more about how much do you love your life. Because, what is your job without your life?
There are lawyers who've backed away from matters when they received those threatening phone calls. I know Kutamari, for example, was somebody who received lots of threats. And maybe 2-3 years ago, you could dismiss them. You could think these are people just trying intimidation tactics. Not so sure now, hey? Not so sure now. Your views, 011-883-0702. You can also send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702.
Hello, Bongani. I experienced very traumatic thing also. I was helping a lady. She said I must take her in my car to get stuff. Only to find that I was going to be robbed at gunpoint. That guy took my handbag, my rings, and my phone. At the end of the day, I was helping this woman, but only to find that she was taking me to this guy. Because I have trust issues. I trust everybody, but I will never trust anybody. Even if I see them bleeding, standing there, I will not help because I survived by luck. Because there was a gun involved. Because I refused to open my app. So I will never, ever, ever help anybody.
Gosh, that's what it's come down to, hey? We heard from our producer a little earlier on who had a crime incident, she said, a week or so ago. Same thing. People are scared. So even when you're not the victim, and certainly, of course, not the perpetrator, people are scared to even intervene or even call the police. A Samaritan. She was a good Samaritan. She thought, it's another female. What could go wrong? She found out, didn't she?
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Bongi, morning, man. Flores here again from the Western Cape. Yes, my wife. She's 8 years older than me, but let me tell you, I look 8 years older than her. She's stunning. She's 65. She's beautiful. She is just sexy. Yes, my wife is very sexy. She is hips. Yeah, whatever you can call it. Yeah, that's the person I know, and that's the person I will only know. 35 years married, and people always think that I'm older than her. Have a great show. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Welcome back, brother. Yeah, you don't look too shabby yourself for your age. Yeah, I hear this all the time about myself, but once they start calling me Uncle Timer, and new Ishaile, the only person that I know, not personally of course, that is defying age, is Sade. She's 66 years old, and she's been my crush since I was 18. That lady is absolutely beautiful. She's ravishing. It's Mbui in Midrand.
Mbui in Midrand, I think many people will agree with your feelings about Sade. Kawazela wanted to know, do you look younger than your actual age? I keep claiming I do, and then I go to the shops and they call me Taima and Grootman and Madala, so I don't know which is true. Andrew, you're in Rosebank. You want to talk about this awful murder last week of Boa van Niekerk. My producers tell me that you knew him?
No, I didn't know him, but I lived quite close to him, and I did get a commission affidavit done once by him. But so I lived in the area. But the thing about it is that I run a WhatsApp group with over 1,000 lawyers on it, and we conversed during the week about this issue. And quite a few lawyers have said that they now would change their mind and they wouldn't pursue a case where they got threats in that regard. Other people say that it's a duty of the profession to stay with the case and to do the case. So there's a mixed views on this point, but a lot of attorneys have moved towards saying that they would extricate themselves from the case.
Gosh, I mean, it would be one thing to take a principled stand, but in order for you to do so, you surely need to know that law enforcement can back you up. That's part of the difficulty now, isn't it?
100%. I mean, I do a lot of cases that are quite controversial, and so do all the other lawyers. I mean, every lawyer does cases that are controversial, and even against the government or figures that are important or politically connected. And you need to rely on the law. When you employ a lawyer, you expect him to carry through the case. You don't expect him to pull out the case because the other side says threatens. Often you receive threats, not death threats, but you receive threats that if you continue a case that you'll lose with costs and the like, but you don't know what that actually means. Does that mean that they're going to be taking the matter personally and going to extremes such as this?
Must be a nightmare, Andrew. Have you ever received death threats?
No, I haven't. The worst I've received is costs. Costs against me or costs against the firm, threatening that they'll to report me to the Law Society and stuff like that. And that does happen. I mean, I had somebody else's client report me to the Law Society for no reason whatsoever because my client didn't pay him. I can't be responsible for my client paying him in terms of the order.
And tell me,
but people don't understand law in that regard.
From the discussions in your WhatsApp group with these other lawyers, are any of them or some of them receiving death threats, Andrew?
Not that I know, but a lot of them said that if they did, they would now walk away. They wouldn't take on the case, whereas in the past, they were quite considering taking on the case and wouldn't be scared of threats like this. I do believe that there is a need for psychological help and for trauma in the group, and people are really worried these days.
Yeah, I can imagine, because being a business rescue practitioner or even an insolvency lawyer, I mean, that's a specialized skill, isn't it?
Very specialized. I mean, we are in another group with only liquidators involved. And in that group, there are only about 300 people, and only probably about 100 of them are liquidated lawyers. I mean, that group is very specific, and, there are very few liquidation lawyers. It's a very hard profession to go into, and a lot of corruption does take place in that area because there is a lot of money flowing in order to keep the businesses alive.
Andrew, appreciate your call. Calling us from Rosebank is a lawyer, is part of a WhatsApp group. Many of his colleagues in his profession are now saying, hang on a minute, if I get the death threats, I'm walking away. And that, my friends, is one of the worst case scenarios we can have, because it ultimately means the law of the jungle will be what will be ruling.
EWN Traffic.
What will rule, I think I meant to say. Amo, what's happening on the roads, delays in Midrand?
That's correct, Bongani. We've got roadworks taking place on the N1 South towards Olifantsfontein Road, while in the northerly direction an accident reported. This one is right near Olifantsfontein Road. Delays as you come out of New Road, so please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the Mike 1 South, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Baku Interchange and Greyston Drive. There's also queuing traffic due to an accident on the Mike 1 North approaching Corlett Drive. This is just as you come out of the Kilani Bains, and it's causing about a 15-minute hold up there, so please drive with care. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Zanzi, set your sights on playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for 114 million rand in total guaranteed jackpots this Tuesday. Yep, you heard right. Play Powerball for a guaranteed 57 million rand, Powerball Plus for another guaranteed 57 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Push-Up Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
Phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible! What brought you and Outsurance together?
718 Rand. I end up saving.
They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP, T's, C's, and information online.
Local entrepreneurs don't just deserve your business, they deserve your applause. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
Indeed, businesses with heart getting the support of 702, Yoko, and so many entrepreneurial dreams being put under the spotlight. The last few weeks, we asked you to nominate, and we're telling you who won. And in the category, the greatest car wash, we have Ayetu Lifestyle Car Wash, based out in Mufulo North in Soweto. Congratulations. We've got Lebohang Letoko, who's the founder of Ayetu Lifestyle Car Wash, with us in studio. Lebohang, what is a lifestyle car wash? To begin with, I'm going to ask you to speak into that microphone over there.
All right, so a lifestyle...
Step right. You see how I am?
Yeah.
Be exactly how I am in front of the microphone. So face directly towards me. Now speak into it. Yes. What's a lifestyle car wash?
So a lifestyle car wash, it's basically a place where you can come and unwind. You can come chill while you're waiting for your car to be washed.
What does it feel to be a winner?
I'm still nervous. I'm very happy. I'm very honored, and thanks to everyone and my community and my customers.
I mean, that's the ultimate affirmation, isn't it? Right? It's one thing for you to enter something like this. It's quite another when it's the customers who say, actually, there's something there by AA too. Hey, what's your advice to people who've got an entrepreneurial dream but are scared?
I always say to people, you must start and always know what is it that you want to do. Just start.
Right? Because what do they say? A dream without action starts to feel like anxiety. So just start.
Yes.
Just start. And you too could be a winner of Gauteng's Greatest with Yoko. Congratulations to Ayetu Lifestyle Car Wash. They're out in Mufulo in Soweto, and one of our winners today for Gauteng's Greatest. We've got a little gift for you. So it's not just the time on air. There's a little box there with a gift. Well done and congratulations.
702.
The Worldview.
All right, let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Vicky Turner in for Adam Gilchrist. Vicky, I beg your pardon. A very good morning to you. Let's start with these mass protests in Nepal over social media.
Yeah, they're being called the Gen Z protests. It's what happens when you ban social media from youngsters, basically. At least 19 people have been killed and dozens injured in Nepal after protests against this social media ban. The government banning 26 social media sites, including Facebook and X, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all went. But the Gen Z protesters saying it's not just about social media, it's also about expressing wider discontent with corruption and governance. Now, protesters claim the social media ban is a way to silence dissent. The government insists the ban, of course, is about regulating platforms to tackle fake news. They say they want these platforms to create hubs in Kathmandu so they can police them better. Although it does look now like the Gen Z protesters have won. The government has relented. They've said, fine, 26 platforms are back online, which means the Gen Z protesters are back in their bedrooms and back on their screens. So it's peace for now.
Gosh, let's go to the UK now. Tell me about this long-running case of Constance Martin.
I haven't got that story. Are we talking about the new Banksy mural? That's the one that I've got today. Constance Martin is the woman, of course, who was convicted of killing her baby. We have got the story about Thomas Phillips, who's a guy from New Zealand who went missing 4 years ago now, back in 2021. It's a story that's gripped New Zealand. I've got to say, everyone has been seeing this guy out and about. It's one of those things that if you're told about someone missing, you see them everywhere that you go. Thomas Phillips, his story ended in tragedy yesterday when New Zealand police caught up with him at the scene of a robbery. He shot and injured, critically injured, a policeman. They shot back and they killed Thomas Phillips. I think the shocking thing about this story is that for this robbery, Thomas Phillips had one of his 3 children that he had taken with him. The other 2 were later found at a remote campsite. Now, the children's mother, who hasn't seen her children for 4 years, has has been informed that they've all been found safe and well. She hasn't yet seen them, but I'm sure there's a lot to sort out before she does.
All right, let's get to the Banksy story. This Banksy mural, tell me about that.
I'm a big fan of Banksy. I hope you are too. I think his work is incredible. Now, a new mural by Banksy has appeared on the Royal Courts of Justice in London. It shows a judge attacking a protester with blood splattering their placard. It's not tied, he says, to a specific event, although it does come shortly after those mass arrests at protests against the ban on Palestine action. The artwork has already been covered with plastic and barriers are around it. It's under security watch, although I did hear one of the security guards saying that he'd only stay there as long as it didn't rain, which is asking a lot in the UK. He has, Banksy, confirmed that the piece is his. He confirmed it on Instagram. What happens now to the piece? Well, they will remove it because Banksy pieces are worth a lot of money. They take a section of the wall away. But you'd like to think, wouldn't you, that if there is one place that a Banksy would be safe, it's on the wall of the Royal Courts of Justice. Apparently not.
Gosh, I have a friend who loves Banksy so much, he's named a furry friend after the artist. So there you go. Vicky Turner with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Catch up with business news now. Muteo Clientele posting a 49% rise in earnings per share for the 12th month ending in June.
Yeah, Clientele says profits rose 49%, driven by the acquisition of One Life Insurance and a strong performance from its Clientele Life unit. The life insurer says the market continues to experience difficult economic conditions, which negatively affect customers and households. The company remains optimistic about conditions for the rest of the year, saying it seeing opportunities for growth and value creation over time. The recent acquisition of Emerald Life, which happened in June, is also expected to contribute to the company's growth and expansion plans.
Now tell me about Sun International. They're in a good place.
Yeah, and that's because of the digital gaming unit Sunbet. Hotel and gaming group Sun International says income climbed more than 3% to 6.1 billion rand. The group posted a major rise in profit for the first half of the year, driven by a strong performance from Sunbet. Although it's doing well on the digital front, some of its brick and mortar urban casinos have suffered, with profits there down 4% to 631 million rand. Now, Sun International says Sunbet contributed around 874 million rand to its earnings. On the resorts and hotel side, revenue increased by 4.3%, supported by an improvement in the conferencing and event bookings.
All right, your indicators?
Rand at 17 Rand 48 against the US dollar, still holding on to strong gains this morning at 20 Rand 58 cents against the euro and at 23 Rand 73 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at those record levels at $3,641 an ounce, while platinum is up close to 0.5% at $1,388. Brent crude now at $66.58 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Straight to the newsroom we go. Good morning, Sfiso Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. With more than 300 cases of financial misconduct confirmed at the Department of Water and Sanitation, pressure is mounting for a complete procurement overhaul. The department's Director General, Sean Phillips, says the current system is too bureaucratic and open to abuse, warning that administrative fixes alone will not prevent future failures. He's calling for a shift in government, including single point accountability, better planning, and the appointment of professional procurement officers to handle major projects. Mongezi Koko has more.
Earlier this year, Director General Sean Phillips told Parliament that procurement in government often reduces to ticking boxes and that multi-billion rand infrastructure projects need professional expertise from start to finish. He's reiterated this today on 702.
In terms of regulating and trying to control, we tend to be too bureaucratic. We tend to reduce things to ticking boxes.
The department says it is taking disciplinary action against officials referring cases to law enforcement and normalizing past irregular expenditure. Phillips argues that until government shifts away from rushed, underplanned programs, South Africa will keep losing money to poorly run projects while communities pay the price when water systems fail. Monkey Ziko Ko. Eyewitness News.
Some civil society groups have accused political figures of silencing the challenges communities face over HIV, AIDS, STIs and treatment. Chairperson of the Treatment Action Campaign, Sibongile Shabalala Madlala, was speaking at the 12th South African AIDS Conference yesterday. Shabalala Madlala says the Trump administration's cut of HIV/AIDS programs is risking a rise in infections and a lack of treatments.
Empowering communities means allowing communities to have an independent voice to express our opinions and aspirations. The voice of community needs to be heard, must never be influenced or overridden by politics or should be intimidated in any way. This is what we are starting to feel, Deputy President, on the ground.
And a controversial birthday letter that Donald Trump allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003, which the US president claimed did not exist, has been published by a congressional panel investigating the late financier sex crimes case. The letter, a typewritten message inserted into the sketched outline of a naked woman, was one of many notes sent by Epstein's friends that his associate Ghislaine Maxwell, now imprisoned, had compiled into a book for his 50th birthday. The Wall Street Journal had reported on the existence of this book and letter in July, prompting a $10 billion defamation suit from Trump. The U.S. House Oversight Committee subpoenaed the book along with other documents from Epstein's estate as part of its investigation launched into the handling of the late sex offender's case. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today, with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes along the N12 West heading towards Deep Kloof. This is due to an accident right near the Deep Kloof interchange. Delays coming out of Xavier Street. While traveling on the N1 South, another accident seen heading towards Rivoli. This one is after Albertina Sisulu Road. It's causing delays.
The top story this hour, with more than 300 cases of financial misconduct confirmed at the Department of Water and Sanitation, pressure is mounting for a complete procurement overhaul.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
You've been in this game for a good few decades. Do you get the sense that things are getting much worse?
The only way we can answer that question is to say that bad actors are literally acting with impunity. Nobody seems safe, whether it's journalists, whether it's whistleblowers, whether it's investigators, insolvency practitioners, all are at risk. And it just shows us that with lack of consequence and accountability, people are acting out on what can only be termed one's worst nightmare.
Chad Thomas, crime expert from IRS Forensic Investigations.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Netcare. The Group CEO, Dr. Richard Friedland, will be in conversation with us. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk, and together, make a difference.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
Okay, truck 7, that has 0 warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without MyWay's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. MyWay is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. MyWay. Live your way.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani and the team. Welcome back, Bongani.
Yeah, we kind of missed you. Our mornings were never the same with with me and my son. Oh, this is Gama from Kempton Park. So the person I think that significantly does not look his age is Pharrell Williams. The guy has not even aged one day since I've known of him. I'm even beginning to think that this guy is a vampire. He must tell us his secret. Pharrell. Thanks, guys. Great show. Bye.
Bongani, get out of here. Get out of here. Have you seen Pharrell, who's also 52?
See, I don't think I look like my age. I've just turned 51, but I think Pharrell takes it to another level altogether. Right, Mawanda Mateza?
Yeah. That man has looked like, I don't want to say teenagers, probably in his 20s.
Yeah.
He looks like he could pass for somebody in his 20s. You'd be like,
could.
oh, yeah.
He could. Could I pass for my 20s? No?
Don't put me on the spot.
Bring back Cindy Paluta. Cindy's all's forgiven. Come back.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Hi, Bongani. In 2021, my dad was shot and killed in our driveway during an attempted armed robbery. And that grief never goes away. So you just learn to live with it.
Good morning, Bongani. I heard the story about this woman that says she was being beaten up and all that. Let me tell you something, Bongani. Human beings, all human beings are worse than animals. A human being is bad, Bongani. I can rather take care of a dog or a lion than a human being, Bongani. Seriously. Mark from Regepark.
Hi, Bongani. It's Impuri and Midrand. Can't you guys try and advocate for Ramaphosa to declare a national state of disaster for crime? Because almost every South African has experienced some sort of crime, and now we've reached a level where we are dying. We are dying. We are leaving our kids, and this is a state of emergency, just like COVID.
Yeah, the question is you've got to be able to back it all up, right? There is a difference between, of course, a national state of disaster compared to a state of emergency. But even in declaring one, you've got to be able to back up. And part of the problem is, even without those states declared, the problem of solving some of these crimes seems increasingly difficult. And why would it not be? With the top echelons of the police mired in infighting and counter-accusations and finger-pointing. I've said before, the criminals are laughing all the way to the bank.
EWN Sport.
This EWN Sport is brought to you by JCU. Start here and let nothing stop you, not even traffic. It's 20 to 9. Mawanda Mateza, of course, in for Cindy Paluta. It's a big night for African football tonight. Mawanda?
Yeah, absolutely, Bongani. And Bafana stand a chance to secure a spot at next year's FIFA World Cup if they beat Nigeria in their qualifier tonight. Bafana are at the top of their group, 5 points clear of second place Benin, and with 3 matches remaining. Their destiny is in their own hands, and a win this evening, along with Benin and Rwanda dropping points, would see South Africa become the third African nation to book a spot at the World Cup after Morocco and Tunisia. If that doesn't happen, it won't be the end of the road, as there are still matches against Zimbabwe and Rwanda next month. Meanwhile, Bafana captain Ronwen Williams has applauded the performances of the team's newer players Mbegazeli Mbogazi and Moha Nkota.
Mbokazi was solid, and Kota scoring a wonderful goal as well. It's just amazing to see the mentality that they've got at that age. You know how serious they are and how focused they are. It speaks volumes of what they want to achieve as individuals. But I think it also comes when they come into camp. They can see what we're about. We're very serious. We've got a very special group. Now, once you come into the team, you feel the love, you feel the brotherhood.
Kickoff is at 6 p.m. While in the PSL, Mamelodi Sundowns star Lucas Ribeiro has announced his departure from the club in a farewell message to supporters. Ribeiro has not returned since playing at the FIFA Club World Cup and has been linked with a move overseas. The Brazilian asked a FIFA tribunal to force Sundowns to terminate his contract to make his move happen, but the club insists he must honour the agreement. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus shied away from criticising the referee in their loss to New Zealand on Saturday. Carl Dickinson was widely criticised by Bok fans and in the South African media for his performance, with some asserting that he refused to make big calls against the All Blacks. Here's Rassie Erasmus.
We are really comfortable with how we can send stuff in how it's been handled, and since there's protocols, we can accept that referees are human, and pressure might sometimes get to them. Sometimes the occasion gets to them, but I'm not saying that was the case on Saturday. I think there was mistakes both sides. I hope that's a politically correct answer.
And that's a rather understandable reaction from
I hope
Rasim
that's
Rasmus.
politically correct, he says.
Remember that
says
he
that?
did receive that heavy ban after the 2021 Lions series when he criticized the referee for his performance in that one. But yeah, that is it for the sports. All the very best of luck for Bafana Bafana tonight in their match against Nigeria. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News Sport.
They'll tell you to wait until you're ready, until the plan is perfect, until you have it all together. But let's be real. Anyone who's done anything started without enough. They started nervous, started without a plan. Until the hustle made sense, they started anyway. And when ambition calls, you need more than a ride. You need a car built to start you on your journey, to drive you into what's next. Start where it matters. Start where it counts. The new JQ J5. Start here.
EWN Traffic.
Let's wrap up traffic for the morning. Amo, what are you seeing on your maps at this hour?
Well, Bongani, we've got an accident heading towards Rivoli on the N1 South. It happened near the N17 turn-off, delays from Albertina Sisulu Road. While traveling on the Mike 1 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Kilani Bends and Corler Drive due to another accident scene. And if you're traveling towards Alexandra, do try to avoid the N3 North. An accident has been reported there. It's right near Vincent Chabalala Road. It's also causing delays coming out of Marlborough Drive. I'll have more updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Did you know the CSIR International Convention Center has over 40 years' experience in hosting international, local, and national business events? Located on a tranquil campus in Pretoria East, within the Knowledge Hub and Science Diplomacy, the city of Tshwane, this fit-for-purpose convention center is ideal for your association, congress, or other business events. For more information, visit csiricc.co.za. The CSIR International Convention Center, where smart minds meet.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Before he tells you what's going to be on his show, let me officially thank Clement and Ray for being in the hot seat.
Where the flowers or the chocolate?
It's my
gift from Italy.
Wow. My beautiful smile.
I'm sorry, that
my
won't
thanks,
do for me.
My heartfelt gratitude coming to you.
I will
now
wait
that
for
you're
the
back to normal,
flowers.
I'm sure you've been itching to get back to the Clement Manyatela show.
Oh, I have.
Tell us what you have in store for us.
So, coming up
After
on the
all
show.
this time, the things you've been dying to do.
Yeah, well, I did them here.
Oh. No, because your show allows you for a lot longer. So I thought
absolutely. Yeah, but here's
these interviews you were saving.
Yeah, no.
For when I get back.
Not really. We did them here. That's how we
look at
operate.
you.
But here's what we're going to do on the open line today. We're going to have a conversation about what the Madlanga inquiry spokesperson said yesterday about the 121 dockets, and that they don't have issues with them being with the political killings task team. Now, last week we spoke to Vincent Magwenya on Breakfast because the president was unhappy about the National Police Commissioner sending them back to the task team. The acting minister was also unhappy about that. Why were they really unhappy about that when the inquiry itself is like, that's fine?
And why did they leave in the first place?
Okay. And also, why are they even commenting on operational matters? Isn't that interference? I want to ask that on the 702 open line this morning. I'll play clips of the interview we did with Vincent last week, with Atlenda Mati as well, and of course, remind the listeners what the acting minister of police also said. And then at 10 o'clock, we are going to bring in the spokesperson of that Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, Jeremy Michaels, about what we can expect when the inquiry begins next week. 10:30, we're going to be joined in studio by Jeremy Loops and Sibongiseni Shabalala from the Ladysmith Black Mambazo. They've got a concert coming up next week, so they're going to be telling us about that.
And at 11, you've got Jeremy who?
And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to do our World of Work feature. Today, we're discussing the benefits of flexible work, and we wrap up the show with our health and wellness feature, looking at the dangers of the misuse of antibiotics.
You can call Jeremy Mags for the flexibility. No, because it's got Jeremy this, Jeremy this, Jeremy
Yes,
this.
Jeremy Mags might as well come through.
Jeremy. The Clement Manyatela Show between 9 and 12.
Local entrepreneurs don't just deserve your business, they deserve your applause. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko.
What a morning it's been. Celebrating Gauteng's entrepreneurial dreamers. Backed up by 702, Yoko and you. We've been shifting the spotlight on the winners of Gauteng's Greatest. And the category, the greatest bicycle shop, is won by Cycle Mania. Jan Stein is the owner of Cycle Mania, and he joins us now on the line. Jan, firstly, congratulations.
Good morning there. Thank you.
How does it feel to win?
It doesn't sink in yet. But yes, I'm happy.
I mean, it's the ultimate stamp of approval, is it not? It's one thing to market yourself as something great, but when your customers and the people you serve are the ones who are shouting it from the rooftops, that makes it special, doesn't it?
No, for sure. First of all, I just want to thank all my loyal customers for voting me, and I really appreciate it.
What's the secret to your success?
To be honest and open-minded, and to be there ever to help people wherever you can.
Would that be the advice you'd give to someone starting out? Help people wherever you can?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
All right, Jan Stein is the owner of Cycle Mania, and of course has been selected by so many of you as Gauteng's greatest bicycle shop, greatest cycling shop. And behind every business, there's always a system making it look easy. Introducing Yoko Counter. It's the smallest till you will ever own. Payments and points of sale working together right out of the box. Do you want to be Gauteng's greatest? Next in line, go to yoko.com for more. And of course, we want you to show our winners love. Visit them, experience their excellence firsthand. Keep supporting local businesses and stay listening to 702 because more winners are still coming up.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for plumbers, electricians, and other tradesmen. Pumlani.
Switching to Outsurance was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. We needed business cover, over 15 million. Outsurance came forth for us. At Kani, we sleep better at night, knowing that we always get something out of Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance, and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
When selling a car, there's nothing worse than a long, frustrating process. We Buy Cars knows life's short and time is precious. So sell your car within a day from wherever you find it convenient. Simply complete the online form and We Buy Cars will make it happen. Need a new ride? Explore thousands of vehicles online or in-store. We Buy Cars, South Africa's trusted vehicle partner.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Get ready for a night of unforgettable drama, music, and dance. The iconic musical Sarafina is back on stage. This is at the Soweto Theatre from the 14th of September. It's going to be a showstopper. It's a Broadway celebrated masterpiece, telling a powerful story of South African history, electrifying energy, stunning choreography. Remember this? Never gets old, I tell you what. A new version under the direction of Mpho Molepo, choreography by Nompumelelo Kumete Ngema. It's an immersive experience that is at once familiar, at once historic, but there's a new freshness and a new edge to telling the story all these years later. Mpho Molepo is the director, as I say, and joins us now on the line. Mpho, a very good morning to you, and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning, and good morning to the listeners too.
This is such an iconic South African story. Many of us have seen the film version. Some will remember, of course, the original stage production under the hand of Bongani Bingwa himself. Why did you decide to tackle it once more?
No, the decision, it was not mine. It's the decision of the Joburg Theatres and the family that the production to be revived in honor of Dr. Ngema. In actual fact, in the month of June, that's when we did the production full on at the Joburg Civic Theatre. And this week we only doing a musical concert version, which is almost, we're looking at an hour part of the production, not the full 2 hours.
All right, so you're just really bringing then the music of Sarafina back to the stage.
Music and dance, yes, sir.
All right, so tell me what people can look forward to.
I think for me, it's if people have seen how we had restaged the musical earlier this year, is the energy, the pulse, the music, the cream. And I mean, we had a new cast that we worked on in the production, and I think what we've tried to do was really to try and tell the story with honesty and as honest as what Dr. Ngema had created.
When you choreograph some of the pieces, because you mentioned the dancing, have you stuck to the original type of choreography? Are you guys doing something more? And of course, tell me about some of the singers we can look forward to hearing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, all through the production, there is a touch that feels very contemporary, but we've really done our best to stay to the original of it. Even if some songs might sound tweaked or whatever, but it's still the same song, and we try to keep to the same rhythm and dance that he had in the production. I think one thing that we can all agree on is that no one is going to replace the work that Dr. Ngema ever did. The levels, the high standard of it, and I think we all know his touch. And I think what we're trying to do is to try and recreate the work in a way that we're not misrepresenting him. So we're pushing for the standard, we're pushing for the tempo, and we're pushing for the classiness of it as much as we could, even if it's not Ngema per se, but we're doing our level best that the representation is at 100%.
It's on at the Soweto Theatre starting on the 14th of September. And you can get your tickets at web tickets. It's only 120 Rand. Bringing the music of Sarafina back to the stage. And Mpho Molepo there is the director. So it's not the full production, but a kind of Sarafina concert, if you will, with choreography and all the staging elements you would expect in tribute to the late, great Bongani Bingwa.
Podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Another summer day has come and gone away. in Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Maybe surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone. Just wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. And I've been keeping all the letters that I wrote to you, each one a line or two. I'm fine, baby, how are you? Well, I would send them, but I know that it's just not enough. My words were cold and flat, and you deserve more than that. Another aeroplane, another sunny place. I'm lucky, I know, but I wanna go home. I got to go home. Let me go home. I'm just too far from where you are. I wanna come home. I feel just like I'm living someone else's life. It's like I just stepped outside when everything was going right. And I know just why you could not come along with me. That this was not your dream, but you always believed in me. Another winter day has come and gone away in either Paris or Rome, and I wanna go home. Let me go home. And I'm surrounded by a million people. I still feel alone, and let me go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. Let me go home. My run, baby, I'm done. I gotta go home. Let me go home.
Great Michael Bublé there. It's his birthday today. That was a nice way to ease us into the week. Stay listening to 702. A lot more to come. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sviso Zulu. The Constitutional Court is set to hear a challenge to the National Health Insurance Act brought by Solidarity, the Board of Healthcare Funders and other groups. The act, signed into law by President Cyril Ramaphosa in May last year, seeks to create a central fund to pay for healthcare services and guarantee universal health access. But applicants argue that certain provisions give the state excessive power over private health facilities